Down here. Okay. Yep. Be great if I could spell today. All right. Maybe I have to do it after. Let's try it now. See if that works. Okay. Hello. Let's start with an intro this morning, shall we?
Let's get something straight right now. Just Mona Does live, and this ain't church. It ain't brunch. And it sure as hell ain't your cousin's conspiracy chat. You step in here, you come correct. With facts, with receipts, and without that crusty attitude you found on Twitter. 'Cause mama don't argue in circles, don't entertain bad faith, and sure as hell don't babysit roles. Hate speech, gone. Misinformation, blocked. Loud and wrong, baby, we sweep. Tap that screen like it owes you rent. Share this live like you're spreading truth at a family party. Gift if you got it, support if you mean it. And if you came here to debate, don't. Mods, stay ready like receipts in a group chat. But if you came to learn, to listen, to push back on the mess, you're home. Welcome to Just Moni Does House, where truth snatches wigs and disrespect gets dragged out back and taught a lesson. So buckle up, baby, because this live back and taught a lesson. It don't play nice. Because this live.
Sorry. Had other audio going in the background. Didn't mean to do that. Hello, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. I was doing this. Eli did this intro. That was Eli. Thank you, Eli, again, for my intro. I appreciate you so much. Guys, welcome in. Good morning, good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Appreciate you guys being here. Oh, why can't I get... Oh, I just can't get that to work today. Oh, well. Anyway. You reported it. Good for you, Donnie. Let's tap that screen, share the live out, do your daily heart me if you have not done so. I appreciate you guys being here. As always, we will get started. I have an outline for you today. A lot of election stuff. JD Vance did an interview, though, that we're going to go over first. Really just listen to him and cringe. That's going to be really, really fun. Another episode of Orange Man Bad. I didn't know that JD Vance was the Orange Man. I guess that's who we're talking to. Didn't know that. That's interesting for me to learn about. Guys, I have that 100 goal that I do have every single day. I would appreciate it if you guys could help me out with that. Again, this is my job. I do sit here for a good few hours coming up with outlines and clips for you guys, doing the research on it and fact checking the things that I find. So I would appreciate it if you could tip your content creators for doing this work and being here to entertain you today. That would be wonderful if we could start working on that. I have all the links for that in my bio. My Cash App, Venmo, PayPal are all in there. And I am also multi-streaming, guys, so if you would like to go follow me, subscribe to me over on YouTube and Twitch, you can also do that. I would love that. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we're inviting people. We wouldn't even know who he was. We wouldn't know. Oh, done. Let's go back to that real quick. I know that my mod tried to invite you up. Did you guys mute them? No. They said we wouldn't even know who Epstein was if Hillary Clinton had won. Don't know if you know this fun fact. He was convicted of solicitation of a minor for the purpose of sex and having sex with a minor in 2008. So we would still know who he is, but that's cool. Cognitive dissonance, how are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am doing well today. Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Okay, can I get your age and what state you voted in?
Yeah, 39, North Carolina.
All right. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Foreign policy, immigration, HHS, and
Those
the
are-
economy.
Okay, let's start with foreign policy. What about his foreign policy do you like?
8 peace treaties and ceasefires in 8 months.
Eight of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can we go over them?
Yes,
Let's start with one.
sure can.
Sure.
All right. Rwanda, Congo.
Rwanda, Congo. Where is the peace treaty on Rwanda, Congo?
On whitehouse.gov.
Oh, does it have the actual paper that they signed?
Well, you could probably go to like the records.
Oh, you could
it was
find that.
website
It's your
that is, you
claim,
find
so I
that.
would love for you to find that.
Yeah, I
for me.
gave you the
That'd be great.
source. Just because you don't like my claim doesn't mean
Oh,
it's not
White
true,
House.
dear.
So
Sorry.
whitehouse.gov is not a source. They are a propaganda machine.
It is a
I would say
source,
that
I'm
no.
sorry.
I would say that
It's your
about
opinion that it's not a source.
I would
though.
say that about any administration. If you
Uh-huh.
tried to source for the Biden administration, the whitehouse.gov, I would also reject that because that is just a propaganda
Yeah, so-
PR machine for
So
them to say
again,
they've
that's a
done good
source.
things.
You don't have to like it.
It is
you don't
not
have to like it, but
no,
it is a source.
it is not a
In your
verifiable
opinion,
source.
It's not a
No,
source.
no, it is not a
In
source.
your
What do they
opinion.
cite for that? Then what
What
do
you
they
mean,
cite?
What would they cite?
Do
Who
they-
would cite
do
them
they
since
cite
they
the-
signed the treaty?
Do they cite the treaty? Is it hyperlinked in there?
Right. So, yeah. So it actually is. So you can go
Oh.
to whitehouse.gov and type
Is
in
it?
the actual, source of the Rwanda and Congo peace treaty, and you can find it.
It's actually on the whitehouse.gov. Let's
Yeah.
see.
It's great.
I can't find. Let's
Because your
see.
claim to debunk my claim is to say that the White House is not a reputable source.
The White House is
as long
not a
as that's
reputable
opinion,
source.
it's fine.
The White House is not
It's
a
your
reputable
opinion.
source. It's not.
That's your opinion.
So this, guys, this is from their galleries, is what I could find. This is them supposedly signing it. I want to see this paper, though. Where's this paper?
Oh, yeah, I forget which website would hold it, but they have a link in there.
There's not a link on that. That's just the
I
galleries.
think
So
it's like
show
records.gov
me.
or something.
Go ahead and find that.
Records.gov, I
Find
can't
that.
remember.
Go
No, I
find
did make the claim,
records.gov.
and there's the source that actually
No,
supported
that
exactly
is
what I
not
said.
that is not showing me
It
that
is
there's a
a
peace
good
treaty.
source, and I'm sorry you don't accept
That
it.
is
I'm
not how
sorry.
this works.
It's okay that you
I
don't
know that
accept
you're
it. It's
I know
just
that
your
you're
opinion.
frustrated about the fact
You mean you're the
that
one that's
you
elevating
haven't
your voice
proven
here.
to me that the peace treaty
Okay,
has been signed.
so
I
it's
would
your
like
opinion.
to physically
Listen, it's
see
your
the piece
opinion.
of paper that was signed
I
between
understand.
Rwanda
Next,
and
what's
the
the thing?
Congo.
What else do you have?
So when you can show me that, we're not moving on.
Right,
We're not
so-
moving on until he shows me that piece of information. I would like to see it. So
yeah,
go ahead
yeah,
and
it's
find
okay
that.
that you disagree. It's all
So
right.
go ahead. I'm not disagreeing with it. I didn't make a claim.
It's okay.
I'm asking
the
you.
muting is your tool.
That's cool. Yeah, it is. It is a tool.
Yeah, yeah,
Until you
muting
can
is your-
find me the actual peace
So
treaty
debating.
signed by both of them. This is not a
So
debate.
remember-
This is not a debate. This is a
so
conversation because the
remember,
debate would
I
actually
gave
you
you
would
a
lose
source.
already because your debate would require
This is
you to
pointless.
bring
Have a good one,
forth
dear.
would require you to bring forth the peace treaty, which is why you run. It would require you to bring forth the peace treaty physically signed by both of those people.
I
Anyway.
was just going to say the only type of documentation that I can see of a treaty specifically on Congress.gov was a treaty that Trump made back in, well, I just had it up because I thought he was going to shut the fuck up. It was the treaty with the United Arab Emirates on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters. This was signed on January 14th of 2025. There is no documentation between Rwanda and or the U.S. because the U.S. was just facilitating a quote unquote deal with them.
And we couldn't even get to that point. So here's the thing. I didn't make a claim. I never said it didn't happen. I just wanted to physically see it. He had to have a crybaby bitch fit about the fact that all he can give me is whitehouse.gov. Again, I will say this to the lefties and to the righties, okay? I will not take stuff on whitehouse.gov because don't know if you know, whitehouse.gov also hyperlinks to X, to Twitter. So that's not a reliable source. I need to see the physical source. Never made the claim it didn't happen. I want to see it. But as Olive stated, a lot of what we're seeing in way of peace treaties is that Donald Trump facilitated. I don't give out participation trophies for you standing in a room.
Well, and even then, foreign affairs, right? That's one of the things you wanted to talk about. I sent you an article from The Hill. Iran's supreme leader threatens to sink U.S. warships.
I'm going to get into that later.
Never mind. That was a part of your. I should pay attention to your outline.
I should probably. I have an outline. We will get to that.
I apologize. Hashtag
right.
Blame Olive. Always blame Olive.
It's on there. It's a small thing because we don't have a lot of information about it right now.
Right.
Wow, you guys sound so smart.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Magnificent.
Cool. Can I get your... Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Cool. Can I get your age and what state you voted in?
I'm 50 and I'm from Miami.
You're from the state of Miami?
No, I'm from the beautiful city of Miami.
Oh, and what
You
state
asked me
is
for a
that in?
state, so I was being a little more specific.
I didn't ask you for all that information. I asked you for your state. I'm glad that you can pay
Yeah.
attention. This is off to a great start. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Why not? I mean, he's doing everything that we voted for.
Sure, name one thing and we could talk about it.
The border is closed.
Oh, what did he do to close the border?
He just enforcing remaining in Mexico.
Oh.
He eliminated the catch and
What
release.
does so remain in Mexico? Hold on. Let's talk about remain in Mexico. I know you're going to freak out now. I did, but I don't need multiple answers. We're going to start with your first one. I got it. We're going to start with your first one. So the border being closed, you're now saying it's because he's enforcing remain in Mexico. What is required for remain in Mexico to be enforced?
The CBP people not letting people coming through the border. And the politicians not sending.
No, that's not what remain in Mexico. Do you know? Okay.
Not
What
sending
is
messages.
No. What is remain in Mexico?
That you're gonna be allowed into the interior into the United States.
What is remain in Mexico?
Remain in Mexico means that you need to solicit your interest from Mexico.
W. Lenati for the 10 on the green app for no, don't do ladder pullers who lick Trump's ass. W. Lenati, she pulled that chancla on your ass. I will explain it to you. Remain in Mexico was initiated under the national health emergency under Title 42 during COVID when we had asylum seekers still coming because that's our law. We are allowed to have asylum seekers come to our country, but we had a deal with Mexico to keep them basically in camps in Mexico until we could get through the national health emergency that was COVID and then bring them in. So these would be legal asylum seekers. And the problem with that is that you can't just deny them entry, especially since SCOTUS has overturned the use of Title 42 in the national health emergency. And Mexico also said to fuck off. So no, he's not enforcing MPP, which you don't know is Migrant Protection Protocols, also known as Remain in Mexico, colloquially, because Mexico said no. And also he can't. Asylum seekers are allowed to come in. Thanks for that so very much. Glad I could educate you today.
Unconstitutional.
Yep. Good job, guys. I'm so proud of you for being stupid. When I ask you what state you're in, I don't need your city. Don't dox yourself.
Miami! When did that state happen?
Bienvenido a Miami. Anyway.
Every time I think of Miami.
Oh, I do. I get Will Smith. Welcome to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami. All right. JD Vance had an interview on Fox. I guess let me open the phone lines up over here. This is my talk about the fact that Trump is destroying the Republican Party from the inside out to the point that they're not even going to know what to do for the the presidential election, because we've seen, again, rumors. I say this again on the left and on the right. Nobody has officially announced, but we've talked about on the right that JD Vance will most likely run, right? I hear a lot of you, Vance 2028 in my YouTube chat, freaking out. Vance 2028! Ted Cruz, I think, has talked about running again. The thing is, again, nobody's officially announced. And the issue with this is Trump is still sitting in this land where he pretends the Constitution doesn't exist and that he doesn't care about it and that he could, like, possibly run again. And so JD Vance doesn't want to upset daddy. So they ask him about wanting to be president. He kind of just, like, obfuscates the question because he doesn't know how to answer that.
Surely, as vice president, you'd like to be president.
Well, look, I think, again, I'm going to try to do as good of a job as I can right now. So
surely, as
just
vice
listen to
president,
that again.
you'd like to be president.
The chuckle sends me because he's like,
ha
you want me to lose my job now?
Would I? I don't want to get yelled at today. That's not.
Oh my God, I laughed really hard at Maddie's live last night because someone said Donald Trump signed legislation and everyone was quiet. So I went,
Yeah, what
legislation?
He doesn't sign a lot.
Like, the fuck you talking about?
You know.
I scared a few people and they're like, Olive, I didn't know you could laugh like that. I'm like,
Again. All right. So then JD Vance moves on to your guys' favorite subject that you know nothing about, immigrants. Yay.
lady.
So on immigration, can you describe how it's going to look different now after the Minnesota surge? And is Tom Homan now leading this immigration push to try to remove more people who are here illegally?
Well, Tom Homan's always been a critical part of what we've done at the border and when it comes to immigration enforcement. What we've consistently said is that we want to deport violent criminals, people who came in under the Biden administration illegally, and get them out of our country so that Americans' wages can go up, so that American streets can be safer. Tom's been an important part of that, but of course, Kristi Noem's been an important part of that. Our DHS Secretary, Stephen Miller, at the White House has been an important part of that. Here, lady.
So on immigration.
So we want to get rid of immigrants to raise the wages of U.S. citizens. I have a brilliant fucking idea. I don't know why they haven't thought of that. Or you could propose legislation in Congress to raise the wages of U.S. citizens. Oh my God!
you know they're not going to do that.
You know,
this.
simultaneously, you could do legal deportations and also propose legislations to raise the wages for U.S. citizens. Is there any kind of proposed legislation to raise the wages that I missed? Oh, no, there's not. They're just lying to you and giving you an invisible boogeyman to be mad at. They're going to blame immigrants for your issues. By the way, they've been doing this for a long, long time. Don't know if you know that Italians have a specific slur to them because they were immigrants, Irish people as well, and they were said to be taking the jobs and taking the wages of U.S. citizens. But we just won't pay you more, though. $7.25 is enough. Fuck off. Like, this bullshit boogeyman fucking scare tactics, fear-mongering, it's old. We know the numbers don't match it. Like, get the fuck over it. Get over it. Mm-hmm. Wake up. Stop letting them lie to you.
The other thing, too, that people aren't understanding is with a lot of these deportations, you're also putting individuals back in scenarios where they are in danger, right? Mm-hmm. The reason people claim asylum from different countries is for a certain reason. So when you're just deporting them back to their home country, you're putting them back in the scenario where they were in before, right? You're not protecting people. You're not if anything, you're just showing the American citizens that you don't care.
Oh, but they don't. We know that they don't.
Right.
All right. Now he's going to get mad at Fox. He's going to get mad at their polls. Oh, no. Uh-oh.
We just mentioned the midterms. I want to just put up a poll. This shows congressional vote preference. This was at the end of January, so just a few weeks ago. Of all voters, Democratic candidate preference at 52, GOP candidate at 46. We've got a long way to go, but obviously that number would not be good for the majority.
Now, he's obviously going to respond by saying that they have a plan for this and that their message is definitely better, right? Their policies as Republicans are better, that the polls will soon reflect how Republican policy is popular and makes more sense, right? That's definitely how he's going to respond.
That would not be good. I will say, as much as we love Fox News, we always think Fox News has the worst polling. Me and the president agree on that. I'm sorry.
I can
it's
show
true.
you other ones that are very similar.
Oh, it's the polls' fault. Uh-huh. It's not your policies. It's not that you can do better. You're not going to respond like that. You're just going to say the polls are bullshit. Well, you know what? When I got graded for tests, and if I didn't have bad testing, not to toot my own horn, but I did not have bad testing. That was not me. But for people who have bad testing, it's not your fault. It's the teacher's fault. Obviously.
Because that's the argument that people will use when we're talking about the education system, and while they'll justify defunding the Department of Education.
Now, granted, I don't think funding should be reliant on testing.
100%.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the testing system itself. The testing system I have an
100%.
issue with is the funding aspect of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it should teach you how much fucking it's the test's fault. How dare the cognitive test? It's easy, guys. You can pass it. I promise. He aced it.
Because my
3 times.
giraffe looks like an elephant.
Sure does, and you passed. I'm so proud of you. So then JD Vance goes into some more propaganda here about 2020 and 2021, complaining about the Google machine. He's mad at the Google machine.
We love those.
Number of things, Martha. I worry about companies using artificial intelligence to surveil Americans. I worry about invasions of privacy. I worry a lot about political bias. If you go back to 2020, 2021, Google search was so biased in a left-wing direction that I think it actually changed America's political system. I don't want that to happen with artificial intelligence. So there are a lot of things we are worried about. There are a lot of things that we're focused on at the White House. But a number of things.
How was Google... How was Google left-wing bias? What does that mean, guys? Come on, YouTube chat. Tell me.
Can we, we all know algos. We all know what algorithm is. We all know this shit. Your algorithm shows you what you watch and what you like. It's not planned that way. That's how this technology works. It sees how it works, right? Like, again, if you were going to look at my Google... right, and if you were to type, let's hypothetically say something about like immigration, right? Immigration numbers.
Sure.
It wouldn't necessarily just show straight left-leaning sites.
No. And you have to. It just shows. And again, please God, don't use AI Overview. If you're going to use AI Overview, click the little paperclip links to see where they are sourcing from, because they just pull from a pattern of what has been searched the most and what the answers are, okay? Because what I'll tell you, as somebody talks about immigration a lot, if you Google how many people came into the country under Joe Biden, it's going to give you, or how many people crossed, specifically the word crossed the border under Joe Biden's administration. It's going to give you encounter numbers, but it's going to call them crossing numbers because it knows colloquially when people search it, that's what we get. So you have to understand how to research information. Google isn't being left-wing. Google is just giving you information. You just think it's left-wing. This administration thinks it's left-wing. JD Vance thinks it's left-wing because it disagrees with him. The facts don't agree with what they have been telling you and lying to you about.
This is why I use sources like Ground News. By the way, Ari has an affiliate code for Ground News. I forget what the code is, but I know
She
Ari
types
has
it in
one.
the chat, then we can say
Right.
it. Facts have a liberal bias. I mean, I guess that they're just being factual has a liberal bias. Let's see.
God forbid.
I don't need that.
Mermaid Ari for, is it 40% off, Ari, right?
By curious.
But use code Mermaid Ari for some doll hairs off your Ground News, because I personally love using Ground News.
40% off Vantage.
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 So Vantage is, so it's a type of subscription. But yeah, everyone go do that, because I love using Ground News. Ground News is how I give you guys information. It's
Now,
how I
even
post
Ground
about
News,
things.
though, remember, Ground News is just pulling from other news sources.
Correct.
And then those news sources, after we know, news sources are secondary sources. Make sure we are finding the primary sources within those secondary sources.
100%.
All right. Let's see. I have a lot.
I just like using it because I need to stop yawning. Fuck, man. I like using it because then I can see exactly what. So the site I have, it shows me, or the plan I have, it shows me when you go to the website whether they lean right, left, or center, and it tells you the percentage based on information from Ground News. That's how I base all my information.
Okay.
Maybe I just need to go to bed earlier.
We're going to finish up probably this last half hour with this on the economy, and then we're going to move into elections, which is a bulk of what I have for you guys today because it is so important with this being a midterm year. But let's go to the economy first. We have reporting on the fact that prices are going to go up. Oh, I thought that they were going down. I guess not.
This morning, new word that several major companies say they will be raising prices this year, largely thanks to President Trump's trade war. Price hikes reaching from your closet to the kitchen. CNN's Matt Egan joining us now with more reporting on this. And what are you hearing, Matt?
Well, Kate, yeah, some companies are jacking up their prices for a variety of reasons. Some of them are citing higher wages for their workers, higher healthcare costs, and of course, the president's historically high tariffs. And yeah, this is affecting everything from jeans made by Levi to spices from McCormick. Also outerwear, jackets, and other clothing from Columbia Sportswear. One example, so McCormick said that they're facing about a $50 million hit from higher U.S. tariffs, and they're taking what they're describing as, quote, surgical price hikes. Levi says that some of their men's jeans are going to go up by $5 per pair, women's jeans up by $10. Not just major corporations. Look at this. This is small businesses. More than half of small business owners in a recent survey, 54%, that's the blue chunk here, say they plan to raise prices over the next few months. 42% say they're going to keep them the same, and just 3%, that little green slice, say they plan to cut prices. Now,
I do want to say that I tried, so Vistage, I didn't hear how he said it. I went to look for this exact source. And I don't know if they just haven't publicly released this survey. They do a lot of like CEO surveys and things like that in regards to the economy. But I was trying to find it so that I could link it with this, especially in my live outline section in my Discord. I'm still going to look for it. If anybody else finds it, that would be fucking wonderful too. But this, I looked into their other like CEO surveys and stuff just to, I like to put in the source that CNN is a secondary source, who they are reporting from.
some of this is kind of normal start of the year type moves that you see from companies as they look at their prices. Some of it seems a bit more aggressive. The Wall Street Journal talked to a construction company in Cincinnati that said because of healthcare costs and steel tariffs, they plan to raise their prices by 10 to 15%. Online prices are also going up rapidly. Adobe tracks online prices, and they saw that in January there was the biggest monthly increase in prices since they started tracking 12 years ago. Big price hikes for electronics, computers, also for furniture as well. And all of this comes as there's some new research out over who's paying for the president's tariffs. Right? The president says it's going to be foreign exporters, but the New York Fed has found that foreign exporters are just shouldering 10% of the burden of those tariffs last year. The vast majority, 90%, are U.S. importers and, of course, consumers.
Which we've gone over. I showed you, this one is actually would be the Federal Reserve Bank of New York that he showed. We went over the Kiel Institute. Again, I have that all linked. We've talked about that over and over. So that paper specifically, the one we are talking about at the 90%, we're going to talk to Kevin Hassett. Kevin Hassett is the guy who is their spokesperson. He was kind of floated around as being the appointee to replace Jerome Powell. It seems like he lost out on that job. Don't know what he did wrong. He didn't glaze Trump's taint the right way. I don't know. But instead we got Warsh, who is supposedly the person he's going to appoint. Somebody also involved in the e-files. Yay. So we will get to that video on Kevin Hassett. But while we're sitting here, 154 people in here, it's 10:30. We should be well on our way to 25,000 likes. Let's fill that purple bar. I would like to hit 50,000 likes by the time we hit 11 Mountain Time, so at the top of the hour. So if you guys could work on that, I would appreciate it. And remember, I have 90 left of my goal. All those pay links are in my bio. If we could work on that goal as well, guys. This is my job, so I appreciate if you would support me doing it. Here's Kevin Hassett. He's going to have a crybaby fit.
Yeah, I mean, the paper is an embarrassment. It's, I think, the worst paper I've ever seen in the history of the Federal Reserve System. The people associated with this paper should presumably be disciplined.
Now the people who did this paper should presumably be disciplined. Disciplined for what? And also, why are we directing the administration or the supposedly supposed to be independent DOJ to discipline the people at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York? Punish them with what? They are also an independent agency. They put out the numbers that they put out based off the information that they have. And by the way, other people agree with them. What do you mean we are advocating for their punishment? But you guys are fine with that. You guys like a retribution state.
Because what they've done is they've put out a conclusion which has created a lot of news that's highly partisan based on analysis that wouldn't be accepted in a first semester econ class. The bottom line is that if you're wondering like who bears the burden of something, of a tariff, then you remember, Joe, you got supply curves, demand curves, you shift them around, you got consumer surplus, you got producer surplus, and then you look and see how it all works out in the end. And they're basically...
That means he doesn't know. When we talk about the effect of tariffs, he's just saying words, and he says, and we see how it all plays out in the end. It playing out is higher prices. That's what's happening, Kevin, but sure.
Looking at changes in prices. So they're assuming that quantities don't move at all. But guess what? Quantities did move at all. So the basic theory of President Trump's tariffs is that there are...
YouTuber Fascist says, poll taken at CNN HQ. They sourced their information. It was the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Keep up, Pookie. Keep up.
Sure, we're importing stuff from China, but we got producers in the U.S. that make the same stuff, maybe at a slightly higher price.
Oh, okay. So people in the U.S. can make stuff here at a slightly higher price. You're right, which means the prices will be higher even if we can make stuff domestically, and we can't make everything domestically. He's not going to tell you that part.
If we bring the stuff home, create the demand at home, then that will hurt China and drive up wages in the U.S., and American consumers will be better off. So what have we seen? Prices have gone down. Inflation.
No, we have not seen prices go down. I just showed you where prices are increasing. We have seen where prices have been increasing. For food and for energy specifically, prices have been increasing year over year.
Is down over time.
He said inflation is down. That is true. But again, remember, there are 2 months of missing data for that inflation being down.
Import prices dropped a lot in the first half of the year and then leveled off, and real wages were up $1,400 on average last year, which means that consumers were made better off by the tariffs. And so consumers couldn't have been made better off by the tariffs if this New York Fed analysis was correct. It's really just an embarrassment. I can't imagine who signed off on it, frankly.
But in the best...
The fact that we know that families have paid $1,000 last year for your tariffs, and it's looking about, I think it was like $1,300 to $1,600 is the estimation for this one. Now he's going to talk about the purpose of tariffs, what they're meant to do. This isn't saying that they're doing it. This is what they're meant to do. Are they doing these? I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. You guys remember to keep tapping that screen. Guys on the YouTube, the call line is open, by the way. But I only have conversations based off of factual evidence and not your feelings, and you guys don't seem to be very good at that. I don't know how many holes you have in your drywall. I don't want to be the cause of you having another one, but then maybe speak with facts.
We get to the sticky point about whether, when it hits consumers, whether it's regressive. And that's where Jameson Greer made the point that a lot of consumption is skewed to the high end. It's not necessarily going to affect low end, but it does affect low end people, Ken, because it's less services, it's things like food and other things that they have to have, and as a percentage of their income, it is probably it hurts them more than some of the high end consumers. Is it not regressive, the tariffs? Because if they'll concede to you that taxes, yeah, let's raise taxes. Through tariffs, if that's what it is, but don't make it regressive.
What we've been doing is by congressional district, we've been looking at how much more money people have to spend because they're buying the normal bundle of goods that they need to survive, and how much money people have gained in the last year because incomes have gone up because of all of our great policies which are causing a business boom. And almost without exception, when you go look at it, incomes are up way more than the cost of living. And that's the real wage gain that this silly Fed study neglects to mention. And so the bottom line is that Trump policies are meant to onshore production and
See, here he goes. This is what they're meant to do.
create jobs. And those jobs that we're creating are not for, Jeff Bezos. They're for the people who didn't have a job before. And so they're by definition the people at the bottom. And our policies are working. They're very clearly working in the data.
Where's the jobs? Where's the manufacturing jobs? Because we're not seeing them. I'll bring up my favorite little chart while we're sitting here. Where's the manufacturing jobs? Kevin Hassett. Here's April. Now we're starting to kind of see an increase. It's not much of one. 12,585 to 12,590. That's where are the gerbs? Linetti said, where are the jobs? Why
the gerbs?
The gerbs. Why do you let them lie to you?
Sorry.
I will never understand why you let them lie to you.
100%. They took all the gerbs.
They took all the gerbs.
They took a gerb. Took a butter. I'm surprised Tube's not calling. Y'all ain't mad enough yet? Because all of you are mediocre white men who can't stand for the man you voted for. So you have to sit there in your safe space and just complain. And then yet you get upset when two intelligent women want to talk about this. And then you're like, you don't know what you talk about because they took a gerb and stuff. And you can't support your claim. There's my intimidation.
It's my intimidation. Saint brought up a great point, which is a perfect segue actually into the next clip. How's Bitcoin or how is crypto doing? Well, here's the Trump kids legitimately talking about stablecoin, and then they are asked specifically about Bitcoin. Watch the Bitcoin in the corner. I mean, it's already in the red, but watch it as they speak about how bullish, meaning if you don't understand street market or Wall Street talk, bullish is good. That's a good thing. It means it would be positive and going upwards. How bullish it is and how they feel about it as it.
Because guess what? There's a lot of countries around the world, rampant corruption, bad governments.
Also, guys, if we could finish out that heart puff goal so that I could redo the gift goal here on TikTok, that would be wonderful as well.
Bad currencies, massive inflation. These people don't stand a chance. They get a paycheck. They don't stand a chance. They may as well go and throw it in a fire and just burn it. Whereas now, all of a sudden, using a simple telephone, using your iPhone, all of a sudden you can buy U.S.-backed, one-to-one, as Don said, based on U.S. treasuries. You can buy stablecoin, and you can actually be part of the greatest financial system in the world. But that's a wonderful thing for
But gold has been doing well too, and I know stablecoin is different than Bitcoin, but you've been big proponents and bullish on Bitcoin as well.
We still are. I'm a huge proponent of Bitcoin. I do think it hits $1 million. I think it's one of the greatest performing asset classes. I mean, go back 2 years. Bitcoin was at what, 16,000? Where is it at right now? 70?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you look at the last 10 years, Bitcoin has gone up.
Not them putting it on the screen, messy as fuck. They said whoosh.
70% a year on average, year over year for the last decade. Name an asset class that has performed better than Bitcoin. And now, obviously, you have lots of volatility. If you don't want volatility, go invest in some muni. Go have a great time. Go invest in some.
It's slightly going up
You're
now.
going to have volatility with something that has tremendous upside, but
Which just shows you how the stock market works. It's bullshit. It's just based off the shit that people say. Like it doesn't mean anything.
I need Trump supporters, crypto bros, stock market junkies. I give two fucks who you are. You cannot use the stock market as a indicator on our economy because of how fucking easy it can fluctuate.
It's not it's not an indicator of the economy.
Right. Y'all, Elon Musk could choke on a chicken bone and unalive, and the stock market would plummet.
Yeah. It's because it's all projection based. It's all based off of what it is possibly worth, not what it's actually worth. Pascal on the YouTube chat said, you clearly don't understand that Bitcoin going down is totally normal and healthy.
Oh my God.
When numbers are in the red, that's totally normal and healthy.
I've never been more bullish on Bitcoin in my life. I've never been more bullish on cryptocurrency in my life.
Spell it.
Guess what? There's
Spell it.
Spell it.
Well, we're not done with the Trump kids. I'm so sorry to say. I apologize. They're going to admit to being in basically the Ponzi, said at the top of the Ponzi scheme of banking, and that they're doing the whataboutism. We're just doing what other people have done before us. Again, waiting for proof, even a little bit of smoke, that anybody in the top of a presidential administration was personally gaining money outside of just working as president and using that to curry favor with foreign diplomats. I'm waiting for any proof. Wisco. Wisco said, love Wisco, by the way, guys. If you don't follow Wisco, he holds amazing spaces, very informational spaces. He is not as aggressive as I am, and we love that about Wisco. If it's up, great. If it's down, also great. It's a wild investment strategy. I mean, yeah.
We love Wisco over here. Wisco and Barrister and all of them. We love you guys so very much, and we love it when you guys have civil conversations. See, over here, we try to, and then I show up, and then I just like, nah.
So anyway, yeah, this is them talking about how they're totally at the top of the Ponzi scheme of banking because everybody else did it first, which is, totally an excuse when that kid breaks a vase that you can also break a vase. Sure, which again, proof that vase was broken. I'm waiting on it.
Well, you know what the critics would say. They'd say that the credibility factor is the Trump name and the Trump White House, and that everyone, is here to curry favor.
I think the great irony is they didn't give us much of a choice. When you had
They created this monster.
When you had
Either one of us could have called any banker in New York over the last 20 years and gotten a loan for a building, and we just realized we were sort of the top of the Ponzi scheme that was banking.
Well, you know what the critics would say. They'd say that the credibility.
So they're still just crying. Oh, by the way. Oh, did I play that without you guys being able to see it that whole time? I apologize.
Hearing it was enough.
Okay, that's fine. You don't need to see their faces. But I apologize for that. They're still mad about the fact that they were debanked. By the way, not debanked by the government. That was the banks in New York were like, yeah, we're not giving you money anymore. Like, they are blaming a left-wing scheme, government administration for them being debanked, and that's not what happened. I don't like Trump, but you absolutely don't know anything about Bitcoin or trading. That's true. I don't know things about Bitcoin or trading. What I do know is that when things are in the red and going down in any form of the stock market, that's bad. That's one thing I do know. That's bad. Losing, what did my friend say? Let me go back. Bitcoin falling 42% in the last 6 months is bad. I do know that. I know that much. I can see what red and green and arrows mean. But sure. Last thing that I have on the economy today, and unfortunately it is also the Trump children, Cocaina 1 and Cocaina 2, is that conflict of interest, having the fact that the Emirati royal family has a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial, which World Liberty Financial is their company, is their crypto company, and why they have so much fucking money in that.
I want to ask you about, the World Liberty Corporation, which has been in the news, and there was this big Wall Street Journal report about the 49% stake that was sold to an Emirati royal family member after your father was elected president, raising questions about whether they were doing that so they could get access to AI chips.
A, my father has nothing to do with. B, it has nothing to do with AI chips. And C, we met in the Middle East the first time.
Yes.
There's not a person in that room, there's not a banker, there's not a fund manager that doesn't go to the Middle East and to the, whether the sovereign wealth funds of the world. They're some of the biggest investors in every fund in America. To critique the one here and not talk about the others would be nonsense. It's literally.
No, because when the others do it, the others don't have somebody who can influence it at the top of a governmental structure, right? When you have other investors and other companies going and seeking investment from the Emirati royal family, they're not doing it with a person in the back with a big stick who is the president of a country being able to effectuate contracts and funding and aid. That's why there's a conflict of interest. That's why there's a difference. Donald.
What they do. And so they have done that. They invested in it, and they've actually had already over a 4x return on their investment. It's a great investment and has nothing to do with the other. We've been dealing with the conflict of interest stuff for years. I mean, they tried all this nonsense the first time around. Frankly, it's gotten old. They were the ones that put us into this position by creating legislation to try to put us out of business. We just fought back.
Creating legislation to put us out of business. I would love to see which legislation he is talking about and which side of the aisle proposed it, or whether it was bipartisan. I would love to see that.
We weren't willing to sit in the corner, curl up in a ball and die like they would love us to do. That's not how we function.
Oh, you guys are done. You guys are going to jail when this is over. I just hope you know. Your dad might not, because he might not make it. You will.
That's not how we operate. And you can see that whether it's my father or us, that's never going to happen. We're going to do what we need to do to fight back.
Right? You know, it's the greatest law of like unintended consequences. If you look at what they tried to do when they threw my father off of Twitter, and they did.
What?
Why did we go to Twitter?
Who threw him off of Twitter? Does anybody know? Who threw Donald Trump off of Twitter? No, Elon didn't own it yet.
Was it the last owners?
Yeah. Why?
Because of J6, wasn't it?
Yes, because of his tweets on January 6th and leading up to January 6th. And the tweets he did on January 6th, where he didn't stop the fucking violence but helped promote it. Twitter, I think it was like a week later, that the company, private company, Twitter, threw him off of Twitter and banned him from Twitter. So who the fuck is they? That's a wild thing to throw out there. I don't know how that relates at all to his conflict of interest with his sons. It's his company. He's just removed from it. With his sons running his company and making all this money.
The same to Don and myself and pretty much everybody else in our family. They took us off of Twitter. They took us off of Facebook. They took us off of Instagram. They took us off of YouTube. They took us off of Google. They skewed all the searches. They did everything.
No, they didn't. None of that happened. Twitter, yeah. Twitter removed him. You're still... And by the way, you're on Twitter right now. This is a clip off of Twitter, so like you can still watch you. And private companies are also allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, right? Capitalists? Free capitalism, right?
Everything they could to suppress. So guess what we did? We went out and we formed Truth Social. You know, then not too long after that, you know, all the banks, they started canceling us left and right, every single one of them. Every single one of the big banks. They started canceling us. Guess what we did? We went out and we got into DeFi because we realized it was the future of finance. And you know, the great irony is half of the very executives that called us back in those days to cancel us are actually in this room right now. It is a law of unintended consequences. And I think, you know, for a long time they fought it. And I think at this point they realize they can't fight it. The train has left the station. This is happening worldwide. The whole world is adopting crypto in a very, very big, fast manner. And they would much rather be on the side of something that's clearly the future than be trying to fight it in perpetuity.
Well, I don't think that.
No, they're just trying to make, like you are, as much money as they physically possibly fucking can before it crashes. Speaking of, I also do know that Pascal says it being in the red is a buying opportunity. You buy now and you sell with profit in about 2 years. I have to hold on to it while it's fucking failing for 2 years and in the hopes that it rises back up. Are you stupid? Sounds like a bad gamble. I hope you don't go to the casinos because it sounds like it's a bad idea for you. As we sit here, it is 10:49 and we still haven't even reached 25,000 likes, guys. What are we doing on TikTok? I understand that you guys are here. I understand that you're supporting, but if you're supporting, you're not supporting me monetarily. So if you can support me by tapping. We should be at like 45,000 likes is where we should be. We should almost be to 50,000 likes. And we're not there. I need you guys to be tapping. As much as you're chatting, love that. Tap as well. This is the only way that we can support my live and get it out there. If you haven't shared it yet, do that. If you haven't done your daily heart me yet, do that. I have the little finger hearts also there in the corner. Again, 90 left on my goal. We have about an hour left to go. I need you guys to be supporting me. I really need that. I can't keep this up if that's the case. My husband's in the box. Why? Hello.
Hello. So
What's up?
back to the guy that said you don't know investment.
Oh,
So
I mean,
you don't have to know much about investment to know, like, if you bought a house for $120,000.
Audie, what the heck? Oh, has he not been initiated? Maybe not. I don't remember. Maybe he wasn't initiated. I'm confused. Okay.
So I'm not going to repeat that because I feel like she's going to. No,
No, that was just your initiation. Anyway.
So if you bought for $120,000 and your house is now worth $60,000, you're not going to start selling tickets to your to your investment TED Talk and expect people to show up for you to tell them that that was a great investment. Like you lost half your.
You're in Nam again.
It doesn't take an expert in crypto to tell you. Oh, and the military helicopters in the background probably don't help the nom thing.
That's true.
Doesn't. But yeah, it's not rocket science. Justin, you don't have to delete his comment. If he's just talking about crypto, you don't have to delete his comments. Really, it's just getting rid of people who are bigoted or spamming is really my biggest thing. I don't really care if he cries about Bitcoin and crypto or says I know nothing or say I suck. I don't care about those insults. That means nothing to me. So,
$10 to throw the chancla at me.
I'm throwing it for free.
Bye. Also, guys, make sure we're running that doll hair.
Yeah, we
gift
could do a
as
dollar
well.
train. There's 153 of you in here. We don't even need all of you to send a dollar train or a $2 train, and we'd be well on our way to that goal. That would be wonderful. Okay. We're going to move on to elections. They're now being asked that Peabody, the gifts always go on to Trump, unfortunately. I absolutely can't stand it. But it is what it is. I don't know. It just focuses on his face first. Don't know why. Okay. Representative Mark Harris was being asked by Bartiromo about, seeing as the SAVE Act, which, guys, remember, when you are looking this up, you're going to be looking up the Save American Voter Eligibility Act, because there have been multiple iterations of the SAVE Act, but the one you want to find, which is the one they have, the one that has been passed by the House and is now in the Senate, is the Save American Voter Eligibility Act. So make sure we do that. But he's going to be asked about an EO in regards to Donald Trump signing an EO on fucking voter ID.
Sure. Could the president just implement an executive order to get the SAVE Act across the finish line going into the midterms?
Well, that's a great question. I've not heard that question posed before.
I don't know why, because Donald Trump already made a truth about the fact of this will happen whether Congress does it or not. So I don't know where he hasn't heard this. I guess he's pulling a Mike Johnson and he's like, I haven't heard that.
But I don't know the answer to that.
He said he would be willing to do executive action. So I'm wondering if you could do executive action on this, or do the states push back and say, no, elections are under the state purview?
Listen, I think that we all believe that states should control and run their elections, but I find it rich that
It's not about what we think, it's about what the Constitution says. The Constitution says states run their elections.
Democrats who are looking to nationalize elections all the time are using that as an argument on these very clear principles that I think are going to protect people across the country.
Well, let me answer for him since he can't answer. No, he can't. Like, he could write it. It's going to go to court because no, constitutionally, he cannot change the way elections are held federally by himself like that. That's not something that he can do. I'm being told to check apps. Thank you, Amber, for the $1 doll hair train. I appreciate you. W Amber for the dollar, for the doll hair train, and W Chicky, for better service than NomFi is crazy. For the 40 on the blue app for the Nom.
W Chickies in the chat.
For the Nom service. I mean, we're trying here. I don't know where he be at that his service be like that. It's
Guys, also while we're doing that, if we get Monica to almost halfway, which is pretty much almost there, I will go live again. Friendly reminder, I have $30 left on mine, so let's make sure we take care of Monica first, and then we take care of me.
Okay, that's it. Oh, I changed it. Go away now. All right. So no, he can't do that. Now, who's this guy? I had it on here. Senator Mike Rounds. In regards to marriage certificates, we talked a little bit about that, but we can go into about marriage certificates today.
Some Democrats, of course, Schumer says it's Jim Crow 2.0, all right? That's insane. Then you've got another congresswoman, I think.
Now, the reason they're saying that is because when they first started allowing black men specifically to vote, they charged them, I think it was $2. You had to go and pay in order to be able to be charged. Or in order to be able to vote, excuse me. That's a poll tax. It's not allowed. And so, yes, we're comparing it because in order to get this documentation, which was not required before to be able to vote, this, to be clear, this is not a voter safety bill. This is not an encouraging voting bill. This is a voter suppression bill. This is to suppress the vote so that if you decide, like, you're like, oh, I only have like a week left to get a new ID and that's not enough time, I'm just not going to vote. Like, and other people will start to think that as well. That is what they are doing, and that they're doing it on purpose, just to keep you from voting. So yes, it's an accurate fucking analogy to say one poll tax to this poll tax.
And I'm not sure, can't remember the name, but she's saying if a woman gets married, that would ruin her voting chances. And that she said now there are 69 million women in America that would lose their voting rights. This strikes me as a very inauthentic, unprincipled position. What you say?
You are correct. Look, I think Mike Lee did a really nice job of clarifying within the bill. And by the way, there's been some modifications in the bill from when it was in the House, but they've improved on it. First, it does say that now it makes it clear that if you want to vote, you show your ID. Most Americans agree with that. But second of all, if you've got it on your driver's license already, and that's what, any woman that comes in, if she's married, she's got the new driver's license on it. They've already cleared that all up. Vast majority of the states, well over 2/3 of all the states have already taken care of all of it. If you got a driver's license on it, you're not going to have a problem. If you get married, just like as if when you're going to go in and get a driver's license, if you get married, you show them your marriage certificate and you're on your way once again. Right. So, yeah, it was.
That's not true. We can go into the qualified documents, which we will go into, in regards to what you need for this. And I looked up just cert, right? So I could find certificate. So let's do that together, shall we? Let's look up cert. All right, we have 9 findings for cert. You have a certified birth certificate issued by a state, a unit of local government in a state or a tribal government. So that's going to do it twice because it's a certified cert. Has the signature of an individual who is authorized to sign birth certificates. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. Includes the date that the certificate was filed with the office. That's going to be your birth certificate again because this is in the subsection of it. Has the seal of the state, unit of local government, of tribal government that issued the birth certificate. A consular report of birth abroad of a citizen of the United States or a certification of the applicant's report of birth. Again, birth. A naturalization certificate or certificate of citizenship. Additional process in certain cases. Process in a case of certain, because it's doing CERT. So where is this for marriage certificate? Where is that marriage? Oh, that word's not even in there. So that wouldn't be on the list for the documentation, would it? Not allowed. And yes, Peabody, you also bring up a good point that driver's licenses do not say where you're born from, which we're going to get into. I have that as well. But real quick before we do that, I'm going to have a little fucking rant from this same guy who decides to say this later. I don't know if it makes you guys recognize anything. Before we do that, before I go on my rant, thank you, Marina for the 5 on the green app. You gave me a little sparkly pink heart. Thank you so much, Marina. I appreciate you and your support. I love you, friend. And then I also had, let's see, from Rhett, thank you for the 10 on the PalPay. I appreciate you so much for that as well. Thank you guys for helping out with that goal.
I'm going live.
Good for you. She said, oh God.
Going live.
She says, why do I make these promises?
They're not promises, they're threats. TikTok purposes only.
Let me hold on. Fix that real quick so you guys can see it, so you don't mistake where we are as I play videos, because that would be the last thing that I want, is for you guys to mistake where the goal is while I do that. Okay. I want you guys to listen carefully to what the fuck he's about to say. And I mean that shit.
Out there wondering about if you take out your driver's license and if you got a little yellow star up on the right-hand corner, means you've already got your real ID in place. That's all you need to be able to go in and vote. That's all we're asking is let's see a photo ID to make sure you are who you say you are. Makes perfect common sense. Out there wondering about.
Hold on. Let's hear that first part again.
If you take out your driver's license,
Yes,
and
Robbie.
if you got a little yellow star up on the right-hand corner, means you've already got your real ID in place. That's all you need to be able to go in and vote.
Does this remind anybody of anything? Does this remind anybody of anything? Oh, one more. Does this remind anybody of anything? Why don't we just write on the businesses of people, of businesses that are owned by non-citizens? Why don't we just write so we make sure? Let's make sure that we're only buying from companies owned by U.S. citizens. Better yet, why don't we wear armbands or stars to ensure that we know who on the street is a U.S. citizen? Why don't we do that? Also that, Wisco, when I was going to talk about that. I'll bring that up for you. Okay, let's go. Actually, I'll get into it with this video. There was a congressional committee about changes to legislation, and this is in regards to the SAVE Act specifically. So we will get into that.
Thank you, Ms. Houchin.
Also, if you're wearing headphones, it's only coming out of my left ear. So if it's whichever one it's coming out of for you, it's probably just the left. If you need to switch or take out your earbuds, I apologize for that. I hate when that happens. So.
Leisure Fernandez, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to our witnesses for engaging in this debate. And I do recall being on the House administration with the now chairman and how he was constantly opposed to any federal laws imposing on the states anything with regard to voting rights. So it's wonderful to see the change. Not really great. It's not wonderful because it's really sad what this is about. Can you take out your driver's license? You're in, and Mr. Scott has his out. If you took yours out, I'm looking at mine. And what we're talking about here is, does your driver's license tell us where you were born? It does not. Does it?
No, not in the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Scott, yours doesn't either. Because what we're talking about is registration. And you cannot use this ID to register to vote under your bill. Is that correct, Mr. Tyler?
You could not use your ID. That would be an accurate statement. But you could, for example, if you were in the state of North Dakota. So if somebody here was in the...
But I'm asking, so in
Wisconsin,
many states, you could not use that ID to register to vote. But, Ms. Chairman Stiles, do you have a passport?
I personally do have
You
a
do
passport.
have a passport.
I'm part of the roughly 50% of Americans.
You're roughly 50% of Americans have a passport because you travel. About 50% of Americans don't travel internationally. They don't have that money. Is that right? I mean, one of the reasons you have to have a certain amount of money to be able to travel internationally to get that passport, to pay for that passport. Is that correct?
There is a charge to
There is
the
a
U.S.
charge.
passport.
21.3.
The charge, as somebody who's gotten passports before, the charge is anywhere from like $165 to over $200. Ours were, I think, like $200 a piece. My husband's family paid for that so that we could travel to Costa Rica that year. It's expensive. People don't have access to that. And you guys like to clutch your pearls and say, well, they should be. The real ID, a real ID nor a driver's license does not prove that you were born here. Does not prove that you have eligibility to vote. It doesn't do that, which is why even within this SAVE Act that they have proposed that has passed the House, the real ID is not an accepted form of identification. This is a registering. Can we move to Costa Rica now? Yeah, maybe. I think they're moving right too, though, unfortunately. This is why I said this is a re-registering vote. There is conversations, there is legislation and words written into the SAVE Act about purging voter rolls, meaning getting rid of people who are already legally registered to vote. Like, I could understand if this was a stopgap, but even then I can't understand it because it needs to be free, poll tax. a stopgap from this point on, from its passage to next on. Whoever decides to register to vote now has to do this and this and this. However, when you if you're purging voter rolls, these people will now have to re-register. People who are already registered to vote, who have already proved their registration through their SSN and their signature. That's already a thing. David is saying, I'm stupid. That's why you need your birth certificate to get your ID. I did not need my birth certificate to get my ID. That's fucking stupid. Are you stupid? By the way, non-citizens can get IDs. I agree, no non-citizens should be voting, but you're never going to be able to completely stop that. And we talked about it yesterday. If you need to go to my show yesterday, Maroon, and look at the fact that the non-citizen voters is such a small percentage, it's like 0.0000001% fraudulent votes in general, not just non-citizen voting, then you should probably go watch that one from yesterday before you're here today. Yes, there are immigrants who also get SSNs. I agree. They have the election commissions have to look at that, which is why we catch fraudulent voting, right? Okay, I thought that's why. But again, this is a poll tax and a re-register tax on people if they're trying to purge the voter rolls.
3 million American citizens of voting age don't have ready access to citizenship documents. Does that sound about right, Chairman Stiles?
I don't have that data in front of me. Do you have a
if you
source
said-
of that data you'd like to share?
But if you said 50% don't have ready access to passports, I will.
They're two very different topics, of course.
Yeah, but that's one is
One form
one
of
form.
citizenship verification
That's a lot
in
of
the bill
people.
is a passport.
Yeah.
Right.
Madam Chair, I request unanimous consent to enter into the record an article from the Brennan Center entitled 21.3 million American citizens of voting age don't have ready access to citizen documents.
Objection.
And this is ready access, and we already discussed earlier.
So make sure, again, she cited a source. She entered it into the record for you to be able to look up anytime you want to. The Brennan Center is a bipartisan nonprofit. I don't know if they're nonprofit. Let me take that back. But they are bipartisan coalition that looks into things like this, into voting. And they found that 21 million people do not have ready access to this information. And she's going to describe to you what that means. How easily accessible is it?
The fact that this bill, you have changed the enactment date of this bill to go in effect as soon as it is signed into law. If you could get this bill, like your goal would be to get this bill as soon as possible, right? Signed into law.
Yes.
And if that happens, then this 21.3 million American citizens who might not be prepared for a future in a few weeks, in terms of Texas, who might want to, they're excited about the race, they're excited about the Republicans, senators who are running against each other and battling it out, they're excited about the Democrat primaries, they want to get involved, they want to register to vote, and they might be on one of the 21.3 million Americans who don't have ready access to citizenship documents. And that's what we are concerned about, is that by rushing this into law, you are going to prevent so many people from being able to register to vote. And that's, I think, unacceptable. When you say how many illegal, immigrants or too many voting, I'd flip the question and ask you, how many eligible citizens are you worried about being turned away because you are rushing something like this into law? Do you care?
Just going to let him answer. I think this is the same argumentation we have in way of benefits within the federal government, right? Like things like Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP. You guys, MAGA, which, by the way, we talked about this with Vic yesterday. Again, if you didn't watch my show yesterday, you probably should. We talked about the fact that this will actually probably likely affect you guys in the red rural states more so than it does us. But they're going to get into that a little bit in regards to finding a polling station, because also, don't know if you know, we're going to get into that. In the SAVE Act, you have to provide this information in person at an election office. That's going to be really easy for people, I'm sure. People put off doctor's appointments because they can't get out of work. But yeah, they're going to go do this to register to vote. But again, this is that argument that we have when it comes to entitlements, is you would rather take food out of the mouths of people who desperately need it to ensure that one person who didn't deserve it doesn't get it, instead of just feeding them and saying, yeah, that person didn't deserve to have it, but they got it anyway. This is the same thing you are now doing with voting. How many non-citizens do you want to see voting? Realistically, none. Of course, realistically, none. However, it is so astronomically low in percentage of it happening that you would rather take away U.S. citizens' rights to vote to ensure that the astronomical number that barely happens doesn't happen. You guys are fucking stupid.
We have specifically considered that there may be individuals that are not in possession of documentary proof of evidence. And on page 12 of the legislative text, we put forward.
Thank you for calling the stream. Age, state, who did you vote for?
Hi, I voted for Trump.
Okay, can I get your age and state, please?
Illinois, 28.
All right. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Well, I just wanted to call about the SAVE Act.
Sure.
You're saying that it would cause American citizens to not be able to vote?
Right.
How? How would American citizens not be able to vote?
Because the documentation that you're going to need to get is not something that is readily available to United States citizens.
Like what?
Like your birth certificate and your passport, your marriage certificate, your divorce
You don't have
certificate.
to have a passport. Passport's not necessary. So birth certificate, right? I don't have my original birth certificate.
Okay.
My parents lost mine.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how easy it is to get a copy?
You
can get it
shouldn't.
online.
Why should
can
you
order one
hold on?
online
I
through your
understand that.
county.
Why should you have
What?
to when voting has been fine without it?
Because you need to prove that you're a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. How do we do it now?
How do we? You don't prove you can't. There's no proving that you're a U.S. citizen through registering at the moment.
What
You can register
so
when you
what
give an ID,
documents
which
do
said
you
illegals
need?
can get
Hold
ID.
on. In Illinois to register to vote. Let's look. Registering to vote in Illinois. You need 2 forms of identification with at least one showing your current resident address are needed when you register in person. If you register by mail, sufficient proof of identity is required by submission of your driver's license number or state identification card number. If you don't have either of those, verification by the last 4 digits of your social security number, a copy of a current and valid photo ID, or a copy of a current utility bill, bank statement, paycheck, government check. A person may also demonstrate sufficient proof of identity by submission of an identification card used by a college or university accompanied by either a copy of the applicant's contract or lease for residence or any postmarked mail delivered to the applicant at his or her current residential address. Why is the 4 digits in your SSN not enough? Why is your photo ID now not enough?
Did you not just say like 5 seconds ago on your stream that illegals get social security numbers?
Some
Did you not
non-citizens.
just fucking say that?
What does the election commission do with your vote?
What?
What does the election commission do with your vote?
What do you mean? What do they do with my vote?
Like when you vote, you don't think they check it?
They're supposed to, but I know down in Fulton County that there was over 300,000 ballots that weren't properly.
God, you guys are
signed
not.
by the
You guys
poll
are not.
workers.
They were not signed. Correct. Were the ballots valid?
By the poll workers, meaning they were not validated correctly.
No,
by
no,
the
no, no,
poll
no. Were the
workers. So the poll workers
sure,
checked them
sure.
correctly?
Were the ballots valid though?
I don't know.
Yes. All that they missed is somebody fucked up at Fulton County and didn't sign them. You're correct. They did not sign them. What did they do to fix that?
Nothing. And they didn't take.
Nothing. They signed them. No, no. Oh, sweetie, they signed them. They signed them. Those ballots were valid. You guys are unwell. The ballots were valid. Somebody in the Fulton County Election Commission office fucked up by not signing the validation of those ballots. They went back because it was caught. They went back and they signed those ballots. What did that change for the election?
They went back after the election when those ballots shouldn't have been counted when they didn't have a signature.
No.
Correct?
No, those were valid
Yes,
ballots.
yes.
Those were valid
They're not
ballots.
valid. They don't have a fucking
Oh, so
signature.
you want to restrict?
They're not
who,
fucking valid. You
Who were
stupid
those?
bitch.
Who were those? Oh, I know, sweetheart. It's okay. Who were those? Who were those ballots for?
I don't know. We don't know.
You don't know?
We don't know who they were.
How many audits? How many audits did Georgia do?
I don't know.
Why don't you know any of this?
You don't know either. I hear you typing to search it.
Yeah, I didn't claim to know it. You were the one who came up here talking about it.
just admit that you think women are too retarded to be able to go.
Oh, there's the slur. I don't think that. We're going to talk about that again. I talked about it yesterday. You are admitting to me that they put obstacles in front of being able to vote when you could vote right now, and the fraud rate on election voting is 0.00001%. Congratulations. I'm so glad that you know that. Let me see. I think they did 3 audits. Was it 3 or 2? It was like 3 or 2 different audits in the 2020 election. Trying to find how many it was exactly. That's from the Georgia Secretary of State. 3. They did 3. Thank you, guys. I thought they did 3. So yeah, he lost, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, and not illegal immigrants. Audie was also correcting that. Illegal immigrants cannot get Social Security numbers. Certain legal residents can for their work
I come back
authorization.
and I hear a mediocre white man screaming at the top of his lungs.
You know, they like to cry.
Sighs an American.
But again, they're meant to check your signatures. They're going to be able to prove your citizenship. And again, I will say what I said yesterday. If you want to do this, fine. Make it free. That means every document you need to get this voter ID should be free. If you need to get a birth certificate, it should be free. If you need to get your passport, it should be free. If you need to get a driver's license, a new one, it should be free. I don't have an issue with that. You want to do a voter ID? Totally fine. Go ahead and put it into Congress for free. Otherwise, it is a poll tax and it is unconstitutional. All I do is censor people. I'm reading you right now. You don't need to be censored. You can that comment can stay there. You can keep crying. Just say you want to raise taxes. It's not about raising taxes. It is about the Constitution, and the Constitution says you can't do this. Anyway, we continue as you guys keep crying. By the way, I dropped him because he used a slur, so cry harder.
In conjunction with what will be EAC guidance for applicants who do not provide or have that possession of documentary proof of citizenship, ultimately giving them avenues to be able to attest to their citizenship, which is still significantly stronger than underlying law. And because of the process as set forward in the legislation, I do not think we'll reach the concerns that you've brought forward today.
Yeah, and I think that this is interesting because we already heard from the ranking member that there is already an attestation. So now you're saying, well, it's all right because we're going to allow them to do basically an affidavit, an attestation. That's what is already required, is an attestation. But now you're going to make them attest and then go out and have to spend all that money to get those underlying documents. And I mean, that's a huge concern that I have. The other one is that you have eliminated the ability of people to register to vote, providing documentation, unless they do it in person. I represent a huge rural area. My voters.
This is what I talked about. This is in the SAVE Act. You have to go register in person. You cannot register online. I don't know how the fuck they would do this logically, actually roll this out. But you would not be able to register online like you can now. By the way, if you are not registered to vote or you need to check your voter registration, go to vote.org to do that. But you would not be able to register online. You would not be able to sign up and register for your mail-in ballot online anymore.
People who are eligible to vote in my area might need to travel 5 hours, 4 hours round trip because we have a lot of space between us. We love those little towns and villages, but that's not where the county clerk's office is. And I have a major problem with the fact that, what are they going to do? Like, who's going to help?
David, I'm waiting to see the corruption in the system. Show me a statistical analysis of the corruption in the system, that it is such a high rate that we need to do this and that we need to do it quickly like this. Sounds to me like they're scared of losing the midterms and they're trying to rig the system. That's what it sounds like to me. So show me statistical proof of that.
Pay for that gas. Is there any way to help them pay for that gas? Can they apply for anything to help pay for that gas? What are they going to do in terms of childcare? Working women don't have anyone to leave their kids with, so they can go register to vote during working hours? Because Winter County Clerk's office is open, Mr. Chairman Style.
It depends on your
Generally-
jurisdiction.
Generally, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Not during
Which is
election season in the state of
Yeah.
Wisconsin, but that may be the case in New Mexico.
Yeah. But generally, that's when they're open. And I think that that's the problem with this legislation, is it puts all this burden on eligible citizens who are going to be deterred from voting. Ranking Member.
Yeah, I do want to comment on that, because particularly for rural voters, and I hear my good friend Mr. Griffith, who also serves on Committee on House Administration, I've heard him say several occasions talking about the needs of rural voters. So think about this, 80 million rural Americans.
This is where I'm talking about. This is going to affect you. You guys should be upset about this, not just us. This is not a left or right issue. This is our right to vote as U.S. citizens issue that they're trying to take away from us. They're trying to take away from you.
Trump supporting husbands don't understand, or maybe they do, and maybe they're okay with the idea of their wife not being able to vote, their daughter not being able to vote.
Oh, we're going to get into
et cetera,
that. I have
et cetera.
clips on that later too.
Oh Lord, I'm ready.
But this is about you guys in rural areas being able to vote.
Many of whom register to vote online or via mail currently have to travel significant distances now under this bill. And by the way, its registration is largely, for all the talk about voter ID, I haven't said a word about voter ID during this whole conversation. It's about registering, the difficulty in registering. They did narrow the number of things that states currently allow for voter ID, make it harder and harder. That is an actual fact of this. Student ID is no longer. But now you're going to have to drive. And just to, for instance, Inyo County, California, some voters would have to travel 378 miles round trip to their designated election office in order to register. 7 hours of driving. I don't know, does that sound like a burden to anybody? 7 hours in the car to register to vote? Save Act would force voters in Mojave County, Arizona to drive over 500 miles, crossing state lines several times in order to get to designated election offices. That doesn't seem extreme to anybody? You're going to turn over your data to the Department of Homeland Services and Christine Nome. You're going to have to drive, in some cases, particularly rural voters, hundreds of miles, hours and hours in the car. And by the way, God forbid you get to the election office after traveling 3.5 miles with another 3.5 mile trip to go home, and you forgot something that was one of your documentary proofs of documentation. God forbid, because that means you can't exercise your God-given inalienable right to vote as an American citizen. That's like, this is the party of small government. This is the party of rural voters. This is the party of participation. Really? I just mentioned all this. It is, to me, everybody glosses over that and wants to talk about voter ID. I haven't said a word about that. But think of these barriers. Think about, and then giving Homeland Security access to private voter information. Boy, that should be enough to just get everyone to have real concerns about this bill, which was not marked up in committee.
Right, and the whole issue, because this bill...
Is it reasonable to have to drive 7 hours round trip to go register to vote? Is that reasonable?
What about our military personnel?
Also that. We get into the elderly, people with disabilities.
Are they going to be able to group together, or is the government going to provide a bus to make sure elderlies can go and vote?
Somebody
register to vote?
A couple people in the YouTube chat said yes, it is. It's reasonable. Yeah, it's totally reasonable. DS King of Kings, thank you so much for becoming a member on YouTube. I appreciate you so much. Welcome to being a member over there.
The unhoused. Again, this is when I state every single person on YouTube is a mediocre white man who can't believe that the person they voted for is losing, and they have to throw in different stipulations in order to be the only people to vote.
Right. Philly, 7 hours. I didn't make that up. Did you not listen? See, this is how I know you guys don't listen. You guys are just in here to cry and scream and snowflake and fucking freak out and glaze his taint. Your CNN network put those numbers out. The person on the committee did. He even cited you the exact location in California where the county clerk's office is, which is where you would have to take your forms of ID to register to vote in person. They're saying that would be your closest location from this town in California, and the travel time would be 7 hours total. I need you to pay attention. I need you to keep up, Buki. He cited it for you so that you can look it up yourself. Maybe go back a little bit and watch that.
This bill doesn't sit here in a vacuum. This bill sits here with the statement that you made. Because what Trump asked for is Republicans to nationalize our federal elections. Trump asked and suggested that ICE officers, masked ICE officers with guns who've already killed citizens, are going to show up at our polling places. People are terrified. People are terrified of this. And it is called voter suppression because it doesn't exist in a vacuum. And the reason that people are worried about our election integrity is not because there's been widespread fraud, because as my colleague said, fraud gets prosecuted. It gets prosecuted. And interestingly enough, it tends to be more Republican than Democrat from some of the cases that we've seen. But they're worried because your president and your party have spent a long time denying elections and saying that he won places he did not, asking to find votes. This fits within a moment of time where there is an attack on elections and on election integrity. And you know, the thing is that Republicans keep lying to the American people, right? They keep telling us that somebody who is holding a phone was going to massacre ICE officers even when we saw it with our own eyes. And then they want to blame immigrants. And we've already said immigrant voting is statistically meaningless, but what they are afraid of is the people who are going to vote. Republicans are afraid of the women vote. They're afraid of the people of color, of working families, and even given the tariffs that are beating people up and that Republicans are going to vote for, or maybe not in the rule, they're going to vote for tariffs. When Republicans vote for that rule tonight, they're voting for tariffs, and Americans don't like it. And instead of Republicans changing their policies, they're going to change the rules of who gets to register to vote and how expensive is it and how difficult is it. And that's different than using this ID to go and vote. This is about registering to vote. And I think that really is the key thing. Representative Ranking Member Morale, I am the last Democrat on here, so I want to give you a chance. Is there anything that you've heard that you want to clarify?
Well, I thank you, and I appreciate the debate here, and which I'm sure will rage on. But this is ultimately making it extraordinarily difficult for millions of Americans to vote. You know, in some cases, you'd have to take a plane in Alaska just to register to vote because there's no other way to get to your polling place.
Are you listening? He's telling you this is not something he's making up. There are places in Alaska where you have to take a plane to get to your closest polling station. This is true. These are things that happen. Also, people said that newsflash, people of color are steering away from the Democratic Party. That's fine. I'm not talking about that. Am I talking about the Democratic vote specifically? No. I am saying don't take away their vote. I don't care how communities and marginalized communities vote. Stop trying to take it away. That's where you mistake me. This is not under an assumption that that's where that vote's going. That's great. Awesome. That's not what I said. DS King of Kings, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. MAGA has to go out of their way to take my voting rights just because I'm disabled and do mail-in because they're such slime they can't win legitimately. And I agree.
Can we talk about voter intimidation for like 30 seconds?
Sure.
Having masked ICE agents standing at a poll stations is voter intimidation. This is when I say us who are cottage cheese complexion need to get together and make sure we can protect those who are coming in to vote.
Yeah.
That is when you go as groups. That's when you get groups together. That's when you carpool together and you make sure everyone goes in and comes out.
It's corny,
again,
but the whole Pokemon go to the poll things, I know that was silly. I know that it was corny. Y'all didn't do it. So maybe try it this time.
Y'all stayed home and had a hissy fit. And I say y'all as in those Bernie bros and and leftists who didn't do shit and complain because Bernie didn't win. But again, right, to all the mediocre white men in the YouTube chat who can't seem to comprehend a fucking video and not understanding that this is going to affect you as well, to a T, every single person needs to understand that this is going against your amendment to go and write. This goes against your constitutional rights to vote.
Now, remember that although
that got him.
Now, remember, I do want to say and clarify real quick that it has not been confirmed. Steve Bannon is the one who wants to have ICE agents out there at the polling places. Caroline Leavitt said that she can't guarantee they won't, which doesn't make me feel good inside. Thank you for calling the stream. Age, state, and who did you vote for?
Yeah, and okay. So the two people who were options, right?
Sure.
They work for Israel. They work for Israel.
They work for Israel, both of them. Can I get your age and your state and who you voted for, please?
I'm 45.
Okay, and what's the state?
Texas.
And who'd you vote for?
So Israel is.
Did you not
the
vote?
one who's yeah, I didn't vote.
Okay, you could have just said I'm a non-voter. Anyway, how are they both owned by Israel?
Well, Kamala Harris, she spoke twice at conferences held by by AIPAC, and she pledged support for Israel security during the bond.
Are they an ally of ours?
Who?
Israel.
Is Israel an ally? No, we spent $8 trillion.
They're not an ally to us? Israel is not an ally to the United States?
Israel's running the United States. Never mind being an ally.
But they are an ally to the United States. So of course,
they're not an ally to the United States.
They are.
They're running our government.
They are an
they're
ally.
Running our government.
Do you know who the Bilderberg Group is?
Do I? You know, what is? Okay.
Do you know who the Bilderberg Group is?
Yeah, a bunch of.
Of course you do. DS King of Kings, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, saying fascists don't care about freedom, they lie, duh, which is factual information. We don't do anti-Semitism here. You can go cry about that shit later. I am anti-Israeli government. I am not anti-Jewish people, you fucking psychopaths. Get help. Thank you for calling the stream. Age, state, and who'd you vote for?
My name is Joe Bernstein, and I'm from Arkansas, and I voted for Donald Trump.
And your age?
I'm 42.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Because he wants to kill niggers.
Yeah, there's that. Okay, let me finish this video so that we can move on with this outline. I might stay late because I do want to finish this election part of the outline today.
15 million rural Americans would have to travel to register an average of 259 miles to register to vote. 4 hours and 30 minutes. I don't know about anybody else, but that seems to me to be an extraordinary burden to be able to avail yourself of your right to participate at the ballot. So we're going to continue to highlight this and urge in the strongest terms that members reject this.
Thank you very much. And with that, Madam Chair, I would just like to point out that I have a chart here that's not dated. Otherwise, I would enter it into the record because it shows that in state after state after state, when there is that red line, it's because we are imposing more restrictive requirements on the states for registering and voting. And that's what they are. They're just making it harder. They're making it more expensive. They're going to charge you more for your right to vote. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
All right, well, we done with that. Let me block that number. It's cute that you think that your number doesn't pop up again in the line of people who called, dummy. Okay. So that's that. Let's go. Put that over here. That. So now, here's somebody we haven't seen in a while. She's going to do what Mr. Illinois Crashout did. Without using slurs, hopefully. You never know. Do we remember her? Who's this, guys? We haven't seen her in a while. Where the fuck has Tommy Lahren been? Hi, Tommy. Good to see ya. Not really.
listening to the Democrats say it's racist and misogynistic. I can't think of anything more racist and misogynistic than saying that people of color cannot get an ID and proof of citizenship, and women cannot get an ID and proof of citizenship, or their marriage license, all these little things that they need to show them name change. That's the most racist and misogynistic thing I have heard, and it's coming out of the mouths of Democrats.
Again, all you're doing is conceding to us that you have added extra little things. She says it in her own thing. Extra little things. You have added barriers and obstacles to be able to vote. That's all you're fucking admitting to me. That's it. That's all. That's all you got. Now, Maria Bartiromo is going to ask Moskowitz about non-citizen voting. He's going to give her the information of how minuscule it is, and she's going to fucking obfuscate to something else because, oh, no, we can't have facts here. Can't do that. Yeah, that's pretty much what she said. DS King of Kings, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Actually, you're evil because of the systems I made. That's pretty much what Republicans are doing. We made up this system. We're making it harder for you to be able to use your constitutional right to vote. But it's your fault, and you're evil for even suggesting that we would do such a thing.
You just want the bill adjusted. You want the bill adjusted to just have an ID to vote and the use of a driver's license. How do we know that the driver's license is going to be adequate if you have heard stories that there...
Also, why does Maria Bartiromo yell when she asks questions on her own show? She's always yelling.
Because she can't hear herself.
Well, like, why are you yelling? The microphone is right here. It's okay.
Giving driver's licenses to illegals.
Again, there's no evidence that non-citizens are voting in our elections, Maria. There's none. Where is the evidence? Where's the court cases? There's none of that.
Now, I will disagree. Hey, conservatives, are you listening? MAGA, are you listening? Focus up. I will disagree with Moskowitz here. That's not true. We have found non-citizens who have voted. Again, go to my previous show. It will show you. I have the documentation, even from your own favorite place. The Heritage Foundation keeps track of fraudulent voting, and they have caught non-citizens. There is an alien section and a non-citizen section in that Heritage Foundation search site for voting and where the court case is even going, right? So I will disagree with Moskowitz here. There have been non-citizens who have voted. There have been court cases. There have been adjudications, convictions, things like that. However, I over-salivate when I speak, Sparky. That's rude. However, it is in such a minuscule amount that it is not affecting elections. Granted, should we tighten that up as best we can? Sure. This is not the way to do it. This is suppressing the voting of U.S. citizens. But she's going to freak out about other things in regards to illegal immigrants. She's going to do the buzzwords, talking points that Donald Trump likes to do that have nothing to do with voting.
I've seen many cases, in fact, that illegals have, in fact, tried to vote. You even have illegals driving big trucks and they can't.
What does that have to do with voting? Oh no, they're driving big trucks. Oh God, they got a driver's license so they can have insurance. So when they hit you, you can have an insurance swap like you're supposed to. Oh no.
Can't even read the signs because they're in English.
Again, Maria, dozens and dozens and dozens of court cases over the 2020 election. All of them
so
lost.
What you're saying is, if in fact the bill is adjusted to require an ID to vote, that's all, and you just want a clean bill that says, yes, you can have an ID to vote, you will vote for it.
Yeah, if it's exactly that, like what we have here in Florida, where I go and they take my driver's license, they put it into the machine, and I go and I get my ballot, I'm totally good with that.
Well, you just want.
See, he's not even against voter ID. He's just against the extra steps that they are trying to impose on it. Now, Peepaw has been doing fun things. Love when Peepaw does these things. He's posting election misinformation. So he's talking about 2020 election and the Dominion voting machines. By the way, the Dominion voting machines that had, or Fox News had to pay Dominion $787.5 million for spreading misinformation in regards to those voting machines. So it's interesting that he is sharing it. So that post was something that he posted on, right? They spread misinformation. He has a video about that misinformation that he posted yesterday or the day before, which I will play in just a moment. We spoke already.
Hello?
I just realized we spoke already. I don't need to talk to you. Thank you, DS King of Kings, for the $2 super chat that said if you complied, we wouldn't have to do this. Right, yeah. If you guys just listened to bootlick and authoritarian rule, I wouldn't have to do this. Also, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, DS King of Kings. If you just complied with us and bent the knee, we wouldn't have to take your rights. It's actually your fault for resisting my effed up authority. You will respect my authority. Boundaries are a thing. I don't understand why you guys don't understand boundaries if I'm not answering the phone to you or if we've already spoken and I hung up on you for being an anti-Semite. We're done talking. Cool. Glad we got that fucking covered. This is going to be, guys, make sure to tap in the screen. Supporting the live. We're definitely not hitting 100,000 likes today. I'm very disappointed in you. You're bad supporters. How dare you? Because this is the election misinformation. We're going to play just a part of it because, you know, ticky-tock be ticky-tocking.
According to an unaudited analysis of data obtained from Edison Research, states using Dominion voting systems may have switched as many as 435,000 votes from President Trump to Joe Biden.
That's as much of it as I'm going to play because TikTok is a little baby. That didn't happen. For education purposes only, TikTok, that didn't happen. He is spreading misinformation still about the election that he lost. And I think something broke inside of him with that loss. I really think it did. I think he enjoys the fact that people lie to him about winning, and this one's going to trigger you real hard. Hillary Clinton agrees with me. Something broke inside that man when he lost. You guys are about to fucking lose it.
And when he lost in 2020, I think it broke something in him. I think he could not believe that he had been turned out, which is why he instigated the attack on our Capitol, why he to this day denies the facts of that election. And I don't know whether it was some psychic wound that he cannot heal, or whether he physically and mentally has become, you know, so obsessed that he can't really live in the truth based on evidence. I don't know the answer. We speculate about it a lot because.
Thank you, Sistren, for the jewels on the YouTube. I appreciate you.
His language, his physical behavior. There's things going on with him that are very different than they were 10 years ago.
That's true. If you listen to his speeches, granted, he set that up in 2016, even though he won. He set it up in 2016 to say if he lost, he didn't lose. But here is somebody more recent talking about that. This is Ossoff, who is running for his Senate seat, again, in Georgia.
Just consider that the sitting Attorney
Thank you, DS King of Kings, for the jewels as well. Thank you so much.
General of the United States and the sitting Director of the FBI refused to accept Trump's defeat in the 2020 election, an election Trump lost by 74 Electoral College votes and 7 million popular votes. That's the widest margin of defeat in the popular vote since John McCain's in 2008.
Oh.
And since now they're wielding state power to rewrite history, we have to remind everyone that Trump didn't just lose Georgia. He lost Arizona.
Which, by the way, we also talked about on this show, which is give him Georgia. We can do a hypothetical scenario where you give him Georgia. He still lost. He still lost. Even if you give him Georgia, you guys can't do electoral math, let alone regular math.
He lost Michigan.
Speaking of math, how much do I have left? $34 left in my goal, I think. If we could try and get that finished up here, it would be wonderful.
He lost Nevada. He lost Pennsylvania. He lost Wisconsin. And then tried to cling to power. Do you remember? Tried to intimidate Georgia officials to find him more votes. Find him more votes. Ginned up a mob that tried to hang the vice president. And still today obsesses over his shame. So he sent them to Fulton County to seize your ballots on a pack of lies. Now, why Fulton? Why Fulton? Well, in part for the same reason this president posts videos that depict the Obamas as apes. See, that the power of black voters ejected him from office may outrage him as much as defeat itself.
Eclipses. This is Senator Jon Ossoff of Georgia. He is rerunning for his seat. This is the guy. I showed one of his opponents. One of his opponents yesterday is named Buddy Carter. Buddy Carter was the one who said that we can't have a warrant for everything, which is a crazy statement to make per our Constitution. That's the guy who's running against this guy. He's trying to keep his seat in Georgia.
So he tries to delegitimize your exercise of power. And now, with elections approaching, his allies plot to suppress it. But how foolish of them, Pastor. How foolish of them to come to the cradle of the civil rights movement and the doorstep of John Lewis's congressional district to spread those lies and seize your ballots. How foolish to launch an attack on voting rights here at the political and spiritual center of the black history they're trying to erase. You see, like Ahab, he's surrounded by yes men. Because if this president had wiser counsel, Reverend, they'd warn him against attacking here in Atlanta, Georgia. The power of the presidency is nothing compared to the power of the people.
Which is true. Sorry, I'm not laughing at Ossoff. I am laughing at DS King of Kings chat. I wish I could show you. I thought I had this set up so I could show you on screen, but for some reason it's not working. Thank you for the $5 super chat, DS King of Kings. Let me try and say it in the same tone as the song. The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for an election to rig. He was in a bind, votes way behind, and looking to make a deal.
Sure was. I love that.
That was a great
DS King
super
of
chat.
Kings is my favorite YouTuber that comes into your lives.
I love that so much. All right, you guys. Oh no, pearl clutching. We're pearl clutching because the Democrats don't think women can vote, or maybe we're just trying to take it away. Maybe that's what's happening. So this is something that happens. This is the original post, right? From the Department of Defense. They call it Department of War. They're stupid. We have gathered at the Pentagon for our monthly worship service. We are one nation under God. So this is what the Pentagon has been doing. They've been doing a monthly worship service. It's wild violation of separation of church and state. This man is Doug Wilson. This is his pastor. This is Pete Hegseth's church. I want you to remember that. This is Pete Hegseth's church. Okay? This is his pastor. What does he think about women voting? Let's see.
When women were granted the right to vote, the nation had already accepted the lie that a nation is nothing more than a collection of individuals. And so the matter was framed this way. Men as individuals can vote, so why cannot individual women do the same? We were so muddled, we thought we were giving the franchise to women when we were in fact taking it away from families. When women were granted
We're taking it away from families. That's what we're doing. Okay. That's one instance. Let's do... He did. I would really advise, again, I'll have this in my live outline in my Discord if you guys want to watch the whole thing. I would really like to take the time to watch the whole thing. This is about it being a Christian nation. We get into women and voting somewhere around 1:50 in. But yeah, I think it's only 6 minutes. I said I was going to stay over a little bit anyway so I can finish this elections outline. I don't have much more left. We will watch the full 6 minutes. This man, again, Pete Hegseth's pastor, is a Christian nationalist. He wants this nation to be a full Christian nationalist nation. So this is a CNN interview he did. Again, I'll stop it at 1:50 to show you guys exactly where it gets to him talking about women, and you'll hear it. But we will get to that. Thank you for calling the stream. Age, state, and who did you vote for?
Jeff. I am 45 years old. I don't vote because I believe Israel owns both parties.
Did you really create a new number after I blocked your last one?
I'm not anti-Zion. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm anti-Zionist. There's groups like Satmar, Maturi.
Do you know who the Bilderberg group is?
They don't believe that the establishment of a sovereign.
Do you know who the Bilderberg group is?
They
It's cute that you think you're just going to keep talking, you fucking psychos. By the way, Mr. Anti-Semite also left me some sort of message.
Yeah, you asked me about the Bilderberg group, and then you hung up on me and called me anti-Semitic. But
You got him in his feefies.
Are you saying that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism?
No, I'll pause it. No. Knowing who the Bilderberg group is and saying that there are elite entities controlling our country and controlling our establishments is anti-Semitic. That's not. I am anti-Zionist. That's not the same thing.
Because Jews don't, like actual Jews, don't believe that the coming of the Messiah is Jewish law. But they believe the Jewish.
I don't even need to. He doesn't even know his own talking points. The Nom helicopter in the back. Somebody should drop him off and tell him to turn his helicopter down. Yeah, I'm trying, Kayla. Jesus. All right, so we're gonna watch this full thing, and again, I will pause right as we get into the women part, which is really important in way of voting.
Christchurch senior pastor Doug Wilson makes no apologies for his beliefs on God and country.
I'd like to see the town be a Christian town. I'd like to see the state be a Christian state. I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. And I'd like to see the world be a Christian world.
And now Wilson's controversial views as a Christian nationalist are gaining sway in the nation's center of power with the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's theo? In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
Well, what would you say to someone watching this and say, look, I'm a Muslim. Who are you to say your worldview is better than mine, that your God is better than mine?
Well, if I went to Saudi Arabia, I would fully expect to live under their God's rules.
But you said earlier that you want this to be a Christian world.
Yes.
So you want to supplant their religion.
He doesn't seem very committed to his religion if your religion changes because of your border. That's interesting.
And like, again, Christian nationalists are a group of people who are very upset because they can't be the only ones to believe in one thing. So
Mhm.
they have to piss and moan and stomp their feet and use the word from the Bible against what the Bible actually says. A Christian nationalist is no Christian.
Nope, true.
And with your Christian.
Yes, by peaceful means, by sharing the gospel. There's a lot of work yet to do. I believe that we are working our little corner of the vineyard.
Wilson's Little Corner, a picturesque campus nestled on the outskirts of downtown Moscow, Idaho, is growing by the day with thousands of like-minded Christians. Parishioners of his church, known as Kirkers, own and operate several.
And it's not a cult. You have a name? You have a name for yourself besides being called Christians. You're called Kirkers, and it's not a cult.
Businesses downtown, next to liberal college town stores.
If it's true,
Why did he yell boo? It's because it's
because of me.
because of you.
I've seen this interview before. It was a few months ago in RTPs. I forgot that somebody booed him in the streets.
Yeah. Well, you had there you go.
That's a regular day for you.
That's not unusual.
Now it's going to get into the part about women voting.
Wait, Kirkers.
Kirkers.
Is that in
It's in Idaho.
Memoriam?
No. This is
Okay,
This
okay.
is way before that. No. Way before that.
Okay, I just
Guys, way before that. Doesn't have to do with Charlie Kirk. It's a
just
company.
checking.
It's a company. It's probably their company they fund their church and shit through. No.
Neck piercings are pretty painful, so.
A big focus of his Christian movement is on a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are
We
the kind
don't
of
live in
people
that
that
society.
people come out of.
Oh no, worse. You didn't hear what he just said? Let's listen to what he says about what women's role is. Listen, I mean it.
And women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies. That's
Well,
it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue
No.
for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
Josh and Amy Prince, along with their 4 kids, moved here from Washington State.
Can we talk? So Digital Warrior and Gradual Decay said, can we talk about Islam and submission of wives? Sure. I have an issue with any kind of patriarchal religion that makes women submissive. I have complete issue with that. I would not want that promoted in my government. I would not want to see Pete Hegseth doing that in my government. But why don't you have that same smoke for this when he's actually there every single month praying with Pete Hegseth?
I think we need a new mandate. And hear me out when I say this. A new mandate in order for someone... Hang on, I got hiccups. Hold on.
Oh my God. Why should I talk about it? Is anybody in the governmental structure taking the religion of Islam and applying it to our government? Is that happening? I'll talk about it if that's happening. Show me an example where that's happening. Or you can come and critique Christianity in the same way. Thank you for calling the stream. Age, state, and who did you vote for?
Hi, no, I have not
You have not what?
called the stream before.
I didn't ask you that. I said, thanks for calling the stream, and can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'm 30. I'm age state from Texas, and I voted for in the election for president.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
All right. Why are you still supporting Trump?
Well, I think that our country's been just spending way too many resources outside of our country, and I think that the American First perspective is something we really need to bring back to America.
Has he stopped funding outside of the U.S.?
Not completely, but in some areas.
Like what?
Like USAID.
And how was that beneficial to the American people to get rid of USAID?
Well, we spend way too much money outside the United States, and
how much of the budget was USAID?
I don't think the amount is what matters.
You said we spend way too much. Wouldn't it matter how much of each department we are spending outside of the United States?
Objectively, I'm not speaking of certain amounts. I'm just saying, like, any amount that we spend outside the United States.
Oh, so then we probably shouldn't spend on our military either, because that's also technically spending outside of the United States, because apparently we need a military to fight foreign agents.
Our military is a strategic asset that allows us to leverage.
Oh, what's USAID? USAID is not strategic?
No, because the countries that we spend money on through USAID are countries that don't benefit us with any sort of...
Which countries were we sending money to under USAID?
I don't know, Nigeria, Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what the difference between soft power and hard power is?
I'm guessing it means our influence and whether or not we can influence countries through our military directly or through the positive influence we build them.
Right. Yeah. So who's filling that vacuum now since we've decided to pull our soft power from these countries?
Probably China.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like that was a good idea, was it? Especially since the budget for USAID was less than 1% of our spending budget.
Yeah, but Africa is kind of already, they're done for.
They're done for.
China's, through their Belt Initiative, have already been investing in Africa way longer than we have with it.
So you've just given up on these countries and you're totally fine with them aligning with China then?
I mean, I think that it was a battle that we were already losing to begin with.
Oh, so why didn't he do something to make that better instead of just making that worse? That's interesting. So I guess all of their resources and their trade deals are going to go to China instead of us now. Huh.
I guess so. I mean,
yeah, that doesn't seem like that's very beneficial for America, does it?
I don't think that it's worth the investment.
Why not?
Because they don't really contribute a whole bunch.
Oh, they don't? Their resources don't? Where do we get things like lithium for our batteries?
We shouldn't be using lithium in our batteries.
Oh, what should we be using?
We should be using other technologies.
Like what?
Lithium is a pretty bad.
Yeah, stripping for lithium. Stripping for lithium is bad. I would agree with you. However, it is arguably there's dispute among that, but it's arguably, a tad bit better than using fossil fuels and gasoline. So what technologies will we need to use then?
Probably solar.
Oh, what's he doing? What is Donald Trump doing to promote solar energy in the United States?
I'm not necessarily saying that he is.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, no, he's not. So why aren't you critiquing him for that?
You asked me a question, I gave you an answer. And
yeah, but it is an uneducated answer. It is just a fifi's answer. It's just because you don't like Africa, which is, by the way, a continent, not a country.
I didn't say it was a country.
You said we're spending too much overseas. You're talking about countries?
Correct.
And I asked you specific countries. Why'd you only name the ones that primarily have marginalized communities in them?
I don't care if they're marginalized.
You do. But again, why aren't you critiquing Donald Trump that instead of doing things like fossil fuels or strip mining for lithium and exploiting other countries for their resources, we aren't promoting solar, which we can do here? Why aren't you doing that?
Well, you're asking me why I
also, Ashby, and then bring up a good point. No, real quick. Even if, let's say hypothetically that Donald Trump helps with solar energy, where are we storing that solar energy? What do we store them in?
You're saying that solar energy has to be stored when it could just be added to the grid.
Wow, the grid has a storage unit for its usage. Where is it stored?
Where is coal energy stored?
Coal is a burning fuel. We don't store it in that same way. It
Did
is
he
trucks
say
and trucks.
coal
Yes, he
energy?
did. Trucks and trucks of coal is just stored in storage units, and then it is burned as it is used. Solar energy, since you don't want to answer the question, because you either know what the answer is, and you don't like it, or you don't know, which is even more sad. When you have solar energy, you store it in batteries. What kind of batteries are we using?
You don't need to store
Lithium batteries, you fucking idiot. I would like to finish my outline.
Grid?
Store it in the grid. Just store it in the grid.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
Just store it in the grid,
mama
guys.
told me.
Wild. Anyway, let's finish this.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no. In the sense that we're both saved by grace, we're absolutely on equal footing. But we have very different purposes, God-given.
But do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like moving here
I was just
was
gonna say that.
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
example.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
But what if there's your wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you?
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic about his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church, it's all men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and in government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Well, that's not what happens
No,
in the Bible.
false.
Women do lead all the time.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer
Someone's
Butler
never heard of
is
Lilith,
concerned about Wilson's
Ruth.
growing in
Lilith is not in the Bible.
Ruth. Sorry, I confuse that all the time.
influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches
And I would know.
I love the Lord.
Just so we
established around the country. They actually literally want to take over towns and cities, and they have access to this administration.
Wilson is part of a broader Christian nationalist movement making inroads with the Trump administration, with a newly created faith office led by evangelical pastor Paula White Cain, and people seen right outside the White House entrance praying and speaking in tongues.
We are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word.
How precious.
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by Hegseth, Wilson's highest level connection to the administration.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation.
Oh no, somebody in the YouTube chat did the thing. They did the thing. All of
Wilson!
Women have more rights than men. Can you guess what they brought up?
I'm a jump. Where is it? Hold on.
Can you guess?
Wait, where's
what they bring up that men have to do that women don't? So we have more rights.
Go to war? Draft?
Conscription! Conscription! Going to war with the draft. Motherfuckers, then get rid of it. Nobody asked for that. We didn't fucking ask you to do that shit. Dumb fucks, you did that.
Rob's list is child support, custody. Oh, the draft.
Oh, that one. Did I set that up? I didn't fucking set that
Who
shit up.
set the system up like that? Who purposely made it like that? Who?
Later, the Doug Wilsons and the others.
Wilson's influence spans the globe with more than 150 churches. Lennox Califangua moved to Moscow from Africa.
It's really because I wanted to be a part of a community that was doing something, and especially in building Christian institutions.
Are there other black families in this community?
Oh, absolutely. There's a few black families.
Wilson maintains all are welcome to his church, but he's also not shying away from his past controversial statements on race.
Do you still believe what you said back in the 90s, that there's a mutual affection between master and slave?
Yes, it depends on which master and which slave you're talking about. Slavery was
That's why, although I know we are talking about elections and I'm going to finish my outline on elections, I wanted to play the whole thing. I needed you guys to hear the whole thing.
By the way,
so much.
I want to read one comment, okay? Goes back and forth. Ally, whatever the fuck, edification, whatever your face is, states, we did it to protect you, ladies. We are your heroes. I would never submit to a man if I was paid to do that. Unless I like you or we have a relationship, I do not submit to a man. Bite my toe.
Yeah, no, thank you.
overseen and conducted by fallen human beings, and there were horrendous abuses, and there were also people who owned slaves who were decent human beings and didn't mistreat them. I think that system of chattel slavery was an unbiblical system, and I'm grateful it's gone.
What he also wants gone, same-sex marriage, because he thinks homosexuality is a crime.
In the late 70s and early 80s, sodomy was a felony in all 50 states. That America of that day was not a totalitarian hellhole.
So you would like...
Except for maybe the people who were a part of the LGBTQ who were getting charged with sodomy as a crime. Maybe it was a hellscape for those people. Maybe not for you. Maybe.
America to go back to that.
Yep.
Wilson maintains his ultimate goal is to bring about the second coming of Christ through his work and rejects critics' claims he's trying to make the dystopian world of The Handmaid's Tale a reality.
I'm not a white nationalist. I'm not a fascist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a misogynist.
How far off do you see a Christian nation, like a full-on Christian theocracy?
Oh, 250 years.
250 years.
Yeah, honestly, that's yes.
What you see. But you do think it will happen?
Yes, I do. We're not going to usher in anything ourselves. We're really genuinely pioneers.
If you are a Christian nationalist, if you make the statement like you just did a few minutes ago, you are not only a fake Christian, you are a racist, misogynist scum of the earth. If anyone supported or agreed with any of his ideas, I ask that you read Red Letter Jesus and you read the rules when it comes to marrying a woman and what the man has to do with the woman and respect the woman. My fucking God.
Remember, the whole reason we watched that entire thing and brought that up is because that is Pete Hegseth's pastor, and that is the man who went to the once-a-month worship service that is held at the Pentagon. That's Pete Hegseth's guy. That's somebody in the government. That should scare the fuck out of you. I guess really that was kind of my last clip because I have this one in way of elections, but it wasn't it wasn't in relation to general. This is Texas. So I guess Cornyn, I don't have the clip. I have the quote though. So John Cornyn is the senator, one of the senators in Texas. His seat is up. He's rerunning. In his primary, though, he's running against Ken Paxton, who is the current AG in Texas. Ken Paxton is running. So here's the thing. Cornyn warns that the GOP will suffer an Election Day massacre if Ken Paxton wins the primary. Republicans up and down the ticket will pay the price. We risk losing the Senate seat, losing the majority in the House of Representatives, and it will take a toll on everybody on the ballot. He doesn't want them splitting votes. He's fucking terrified. Yeah, Emma. Absolutely can.
Hello, beautiful ladies.
Hi, lovely.
Hi. So I've listened to that video a bunch, and I think the way they're going to try to get around the 19th is by having people vote by household. That's why they kept saying it that way, right?
Right.
So now liberal women just don't get married. We all just continue to file our taxes single by ourselves, and we outvote all of the MAGA chodes in the history of ever because their wives can't vote anymore. Problem solved.
Yep.
What are we talking about? They're so dumb. They're so, like, can they read?
No.
The way Olive came back so fast with that.
Did you not hear the caller I just had who said that the solar energy gets stored in the grid?
Oh, yeah. How about where does the coal energy get stored, ladies?
I didn't know coal produced energy that could be stored. I didn't know that.
I hate
it here. I hate it. I hate it.
Hey, to give you ladies some excellent news, my community this morning raised $300 for a meal train for a little boy at my son's school who unfortunately lost his mom in an accident last week. So we are going to feed a family for a little while they go through this trying time of trying to figure out how things function now. So that's very exciting.
That's community. MAGA, I don't know. Yep. You don't know what that is. That's what that looks like.
But Emma, what about the Dow?
But the Dow.
The Dow, dude. The Dow's about to go up exponentially once I buy stock in fucking Kleenex. Let's be so clear.
There you go.
Because all I do is cry on this app. Anyway, I love you, ladies.
Love you.
Have a fantastic day.
You too. Bye.
Bye, Em.
I want to crash out over that fucking fake Santa shit. I'm not racist. I'm not fascist. I'm just a Christian national. My God, if you're one, you check the rest.
I guess I'll
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll keep going a little bit because most of these are pretty quick. So Rob had brought this up too, and I had it on the outline. In regards to, since he was talking about slavery, if you guys don't know, I talked about how the exhibits in Philadelphia, the slavery exhibits, were taken down by this administration. I wonder what they're trying to hide. Maybe it's the true history of the United States. That's, a thing. But a judge, or this one's Stonewall specifically, but there was one in regards to, so Stonewall, they removed, right? But guess what? They were also forced to have to put, that's not the one I wanted. I didn't find the one I wanted, unfortunately. The one that they were supposed to put back is the slavery one. But now the administration is filing an appeal to that. So the judge ordered them to have to put it back. And they're saying, defendants hereby appeal this court's February 16, 2026 memorandum opinion. Why would they be appealing? Why would they take it down in the first place? But why would they be appealing a decision to put exhibits on slavery back? Just a question. Just wondering. I have this as part of the outline. I don't know if I want to bring it up. I'm scared to bring it up because this is such a contentious race in Texas.
Someone asked me this morning about my views on Tallarico.
Okay, but I'm not making a choice here. I'm frustrated with this. I'm frustrated with Tallarico. So Tallarico, let's talk about that. Tallarico is having issues with some of his comments in regards to Colin Allred, which is a fucking problem. I don't like the way his campaign spoke on Colin Allred, and I also don't like there is accusations that his ads are making Jasmine Crockett darker. Now, I don't know what the truth is behind that. Right, and Jen, that's totally fair. But people in Texas Get out and vote. Early voting started yesterday in Texas. Make sure that you guys are voting for Jasmine Crockett then. If you want Jasmine Crockett to be your Democratic nominee for the Senate, get out there and do the things. Canvass for her, phone bank for her, volunteer on her campaign. Make sure you get out there and vote. And do all those things. Granted, do I think Tallarico would be a much better option than Ken Paxton or Cornyn? Yeah. But I would rather promote Jasmine Crockett. I'm not in Texas. This is not my decision to make. But we can absolutely, and I will say that, critique James Tallarico for what things are doing, what things have been done on his campaign and words that he have said. Do that. But I'm going to also critique Jasmine Crockett. I found this morning. I apologize, and I apologize to her as well. I fucking hate this. That halfway through her speech right here, this comment right here, a plane goes overhead. It's not like a jet plane, so it's not like the military, but I don't know if they're just near an airport. I don't know. Loud ass plane kind of covers her. So for people who have auditory sensitivities, please understand that is going to be coming, and it sucks for her as well. I had to really listen to hear what she said. I hate that when planes overtalk candidates speaking, but I really I'm not a big fan of what she says in this interview. So let's talk about that.
We did receive information suggesting that the federal government did not shut down this segment. Number one. I'm
gonna stop it right there. Who claimed that they did? And I have the video on that because we watched it yesterday too. Who claimed that the government shut down the Colbert segment on Tallarico?
It is my understanding that the federal government didn't shut this down, and we will do an official statement once we get another official statement that we anticipate is going to be coming from Paramount. All right, so we will read what they say, and then we'll go from there. It is our understanding that Colbert, either Mr. Colbert or CBS, decided that they just didn't want to air.
All right, so she says that her understanding is that Colbert or CBS just didn't want to air it. Yeah, because that's everybody's understanding. My issue is that if we're going to throw dirt for the right thing. So she did a press conference talking about why are they always in a tornado? I don't know. Speaking of, I have a plane flying over me right now. But I live by the airport, so that makes sense. If she wants to talk about the comments about Colin Allred, do it. If you want to talk about the fact that his campaign might be making you look darker in your ads, do it. Why are we talking as if anybody made mention that the federal government did this? Because they didn't.
And this was because of a fear that the FCC may say something to them, and that there may have been advice to just have me on, and then they could clear the issue. It was my understanding that someone somewhere decided we just don't want to do that, and instead we're going to just do it this way.
Now, I don't remember Colbert ever saying that they weren't going to do equal time. Here is actually this was 9 months ago, and I'll say that this was 9 months ago, but look who was on the Colbert Show. So was there a denial that she was going to be on there? I don't think so. There wasn't. Also, we watched this yesterday. I will play part of it if I can find the specific part.
Texas Senate candidate James Tallarico. But it wasn't on the show. It wasn't on the show. We put the interview on our YouTube channel because of something called the equal time rule. And that rule says that if a show on broadcast television has a qualified candidate on during an election, they have to offer equal time to all that candidate's opponents. It's a pretty famous rule, but here's the thing. There has long been a very famous exception to that rule, and that exception included talk shows, interviews with politicians. We looked, and we can't find one example of this rule being enforced for any talk show interview, not only for my entire late-night career, but for anyone's late-night career going back to the 1960s. But on January 21st, we heard from FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, seen here testifying how to purple a nurple. Carr, he issued a letter saying he was thinking about getting rid of that talk show exception. he had not gotten rid of it yet, but CBS generously did it for him.
So he's making it clear who did it?
And told me unilaterally that I had to abide by the equal time rules, something I have never been asked to do for an interview in the 21 years of this job. Now, that decision, I want to be clear, is their right, just like I have the right to talk about their decision on air. Last night...
So again, CBS came to him because CBS, as we know, has had a history lately, thank you to Barry Weiss, to take down interviews, right? We all saw the 60 Minutes interview about the El Salvador, about CCOT. That's what it was.
CCOT, thank you, not ECOT.
The 60 Minutes segment on CCOT was pulled. The only reason we got it is because they had already signed a contract with a streaming service in Canada to be able to play it. So we were able to get it. So that was one instance of CBS. CBS has also thrown their weight around in other ways. They've canceled Stephen Colbert. He is done. He's done in May. The FCC has thrown their weight around by threatening Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know if we all just magically forgot that they have been throwing their governmental weight around. So my issue is, let's just be honest, which she relatively was, but it was kind of shady, in saying that it was Stephen Colbert at all. It wasn't. It was CBS who is exactly. CBS is capitulating in advance. CBS is full on state media, I guess, besides Stephen Colbert now. And all he is saying is that this equal time rule has always exempted talk shows, but that the FCC was threatening to remove that exemption and have them forced to do it. That's not saying that he wasn't going to interview her if taken the opportunity to do so. She said she was waiting for an official statement from CBS, if I heard her right. From Paramount. Yeah, she's waiting, which is fair. We should want. I agree with her. I want Paramount to answer for this. Because they should. There's no reason why they should take it off the air. And the fact that they did, if anything, it did the opposite of what they wanted, which is give him more PR, which to me is frustrating because I would lean more towards Crockett. So now we have given Tallarico more PR by trying to take him off the air. Thank you so much, CBS. Instead of promoting her, which is what we should be doing. I just want it to be a race where people are basing it off of who's going to be better for them in Texas. I think Jasmine Crockett's going to be better for you all in Texas, but you need to go out and do the thing. You need to go out and vote. And when she wins the primary, you then need to go out and vote again in the general to make sure that she wins. That's what I want you guys to do.
That's the biggest thing, and I think we need to just keep screaming that to Texans, because I hear day in, day out from Texas people and people that live in. We have liberals. It's more democratic. Then go out and fucking vote.
Right.
Stop saying it and go out and vote and show us that Texas is blue. Because at this point in time, especially in the area I live at, this is the first time I'm living in a full red state with a red representative, a red governor, and a red senator. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I've ever lived in a state like this. And I can understand that it's frustrating, but you have to go out and vote. Nothing that Blackburn, nothing that Bill Lee, nothing that Andy Ogle's gonna say, it's not gonna stop me from voting. Yeah, it has been a really long talking point. The biggest thing we heard throughout the 2024 election, Kamala's gonna turn Texas blue.
Right. Well, you guys aren't going out to vote,
why didn't we turn Arizona blue?
Right.
Mississippi? I mean...
Oh, there's more Democratic registered voters. And granted, there's a shit ton of gerrymandering and redlining that happens in that state.
100%.
But get out there and do the damn job.
Go show us how blue Texas is.
This is what Olive had brought up at the top of it. I have two kind of funny things at the end. We're going to end with funny, but this is serious. I want you guys to keep track of. This is not making any statements about what is happening. This is just on the ground reporting of what they are seeing in Iran. It doesn't look like peace talks for Iran are going well.
Harris, good morning. A massive amount of U.S. military equipment continues to flood into the Middle East in preparation for action against Iran. Reports indicate the U.S. has moved more than 50 fighter jets to the region over the past 24 hours alone. Along with the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group already in place and the USS Gerald R. Ford on the way, there are a variety of other U.S. Navy assets in the Red and Mediterranean seas. While talks on Tuesday left both sides saying that progress was made, there are still major questions about Iran's willingness to curb their nuclear program or address the growing regional ballistic missile threat. Yesterday on Fox News, Vice President J.D. Vance was asked about the negotiations.
They agreed to meet afterwards, but in other ways, it was very clear that the president has set some red lines, that the Iranians are...
I'm sorry. This has nothing to do with anything. Bill over on the YouTube chat said, this is the dumbest conversation I've ever heard, and then said, repeal the 17th Amendment.
What's the 17th Amendment?
The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state elected by the people thereof for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. The electors in each state shall have the qualification requisites for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislators. You want to get...
You don't want
senators? I think I know which amendment you meant, babe. You don't know which amendment you meant, and I'm not going to tell you.
I'm just a bill, but I don't know how amendments work. My God, dude.
Or that's the wrong amendment, babe. I know you were trying to insult me. That one didn't seem to work, did it?
Oh, no. Undisputed. When did this come out?
It's 19th. Typio. Sweetie. Sweetheart, I don't know how you typo 7 and 9. There are completely different spaces on your keyboard. It's 6, 7. Totally fair.
Even
preference is preference. DS King of Kings, I can't.
I love DS King of Kings so much.
Oh, God. All right. Anyway, Iran.
Not yet willing to actually acknowledge and work through. So we're going to keep on working it. But of course, the president reserves the ability to say when he thinks that diplomacy has reached its natural end. We hope we don't get to that point. But if we do, that'll be the president's call.
The Iranians continue to threaten the United States. From the supreme leader to lower-level commanders, the IRGC has promised to go after American military interests in the event of escalation in the region. Iran's president has tried to strike a more diplomatic tone on nuclear issues, despite the threatening rhetoric from the rest of Iranian leadership.
Can I bring a point? 30-second point. I need everyone to understand that the people who are on those ships, every single Navy, individual, Marine, Army, whomever, because the Navy ships carries all of them, besides Air Force, I think. Every single one of that person has a family, they have kids, they have mothers, they have fathers. This is a great example that both sides will use our military personnel as fucking pawns.
We have stated these many times. My own statements are not important. What matters from an ideological standpoint is the policy and the fatwa of the Supreme Leader. We are in no way seeking nuclear weapons. Whatever form of verification they want to carry out, we are ready for that verification to take place.
Here in Israel, officials reportedly believe war could erupt in a matter of days and are preparing accordingly. Harris?
No new wars, guys. No new wars. I'm so proud of you.
By the way, someone said, we'll just blow iron off the map.
That's
iron.
Iron. We'll just blow iron off the map. I think we kind of need it. That's interesting. This is,
you know, the grid.
So like I said, I've gone longer than my usual time. I'm going to play 2 funnies for you. This one's a local funny to Colorado, guys. I'm from Colorado, if you don't know. We have a gubernatorial race. If you don't know what that is, it's a governor's race. Why does it have a funny name? I don't know. Haven't looked into the history on that. We need iron for our dome is crazy, Kayla.
What dome?
But we have a gubernatorial race coming up. Jared Polis is going to be out of office, so we need to vote for a new governor. Again, on the Democratic side, we have the top contenders in that primary are going to be Michael Bennet and Phil Weiser. If you are in Colorado, you need to vote in those primaries. The primaries for Colorado are going to be June 30th. On the Republican side, I'm not sure of all the people in the primaries, but we have a GOP person. His name, I know it's Bottoms, but I never remember his first name. Scott. Yeah, it is. Scott Bottoms. He has been running on an idea that there is PDF files within the state legislature of Colorado. He, without any proof, he has not provided any proof of that. He is also very, very anti-trans. So this is a press conference. This is now the only reason this is funny. I will show you. He is holding a press conference about a bill he is proposing on banning. What is it? Banning gender-affirming surgery for kids. He has a bill proposed to ban gender-affirming surgery for kids and also to talk about PDF files within the legislature. This is the press conference he held. He's very, very popular, as you guys will see.
The sex trafficking of our children, theoretically, because it would put people in jail for life sentence for trafficking our children, and that was voted down unanimously by the...
You could say he bottomed out, but
he's doing really well. Good for you,
This
Glenn
King of
Coco. You
Kings
go,
guy.
Glenn Coco.
I hope this DS King of King guy has like a Discord or something. I want to know who this is. You are so fucking funny.
I think he said Discord is evil, to be fair, which, you know.
That's valid.
Yeah. And the last thing I'm going to play for you, they don't play the gaffe, which is kind of frustrating. I guess AOC had some sort of gaffe in her answer in regards to Taiwan. Yeah, great turnout, right? His chances are great. By the way, I've been downtown for protests. I've been downtown just for like a regular day and seen more people at the Capitol than I saw there. It was like people purposely didn't go to the Capitol.
You saw a singular person might have waved.
I think I saw a wave. Yeah, they were saying, hey, the camera's down here. We're the only people filming you. So I guess AOC had a gaffe. I'm really frustrated that it doesn't show the right before where she had a gaffe. There's just like a silent moment. But CNN does this for you, all of you who like to, oh no, they said this wrong.
A flub for AOC, but the question is also, what happens when the president, the actual president of the United States, does very similar things on the world stage? Listen.
I watch our police and our firemen down in 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center.
When I told them about Iceland, they loved me. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland.
Shifting production to Thailand. And
I forgot about that one.
By the way, the first video of him did not look like him.
It was him.
to Vietnam.
I solved wars that was unsolvable. Azerbaijan and Albania.
Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa.
Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient. We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. This is, sorry about that. We signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union.
So look, I'll give you that AOC probably should have been more ready for that question, but are we going to really pretend that the actual president of the United States has not made similar or perhaps worse flubs on the global stage?
Yeah.
Like this one.
Undisputed. Just when did this come out?
King of Kings said, shit, I wish we were in Thailand. Hello?
I like them thick. I do like them thick. That's
I like
true.
them big. Sorry.
I like them chunky.
I like them round. Should that be my starting song? No, I'm not gonna do that.
You'll set them off. Don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
know,
They're
I'm gonna
already
piss 'em off.
they're already assholes enough. We don't need that. Gosh, guys, my goodness. We almost reached 100,000 likes, but I had to stay on 30 minutes after it almost reached. I'm not thick. It's crazy.
Wait, Justin. So this is the tube chat. Someone goes, so I read that. We'll just blow iron off the map. Then DS King of King goes, she was ironing my dome until I went ballistic. The ironing. Justin has died.
In sight,
that erection.
And I ooh.
And I ooh. And I ooh.
And I ooh.
Oh,
Link
my
in bio.
Yeah, links for that are in the bio. Thank you guys so much for your support. Are you going live?
Yeah,
Since
I
you
said I
promised
would.
them, now you
Yeah.
have to.
So the only thing, guys, is when I go live, make sure we are booping, make sure we are sharing, make sure we are doing all the wonderful things. I have $30 left on my goal. I would love if we could knock that out.
Would be nice.
Because we have bills to pay.
Yeah, you guys
Sparky,
almost
fuck
got
you.
me there. You guys almost got me there. Very proud of you. So
Right.
now we have to go
But-
support Olive.
And I'm not going to yell at you guys.
Them saying
I'm
no
not
is
going to
crazy.
yell at you guys. I want you guys to know that I'm not yelling at you. Not,
Ooh.
is that ChatGPT who changed his name to AI is not a source?
I do. I am going to open a chicken place, call it Thailand. I think we need to do that.
Thailand.
Thailand.
I'm not yelling, but I want to remind you guys that content creators like myself, Monica, Steve, and other, I knew that was you, but I want to be yelled at. Links in bio.
Also that.
RJ's live?
Is
No,
he
he's
really?
not. Don't tell me that. Oh, Chicky. Hold on.
He is.
I don't like that he's live. Can we go just yell at RJ to go off? Chicky, thank you, Chicky, for the 3-0 on the blue app and said, no!
Well, now your goal's done.
My goal's done!
W Chicky.
Thank you, Chicky. Also, oh, I'm so sorry, AI. I did not mean to, and I do apologize. I will take that as a mental
She,
note.
her. Thank you.
Thank you. I apologize. Do you guys still want me to go live if RJ's live? I mean, I could see what happens for a couple minutes. I might play a couple songs, and then if it doesn't happen, we'll just go figure out someone who's not a man to raid unless Bill's live.
Right. We could also
I
do
love you,
that.
Chicky.
Does that sound like a plan?
Does that sound
guys?
fair? Is that a fair deal, guys? I know I said I would go live, but since RJ's on, we can also do a hangout. I got to do some cleaning though too, so we'll see because my parents come into town.
Mm-hmm. There.
Not tomorrow, Thursday.
Do it, lady.
Oh shit, they come in town tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
They don't. Okay, so this is the plan, right? I'm talking about my plan with everyone on the internet, but who cares? Parents come in tomorrow. I won't see my mom and her friend until Friday because they're taking me out to lunch. Friday, I also got to go do laundry because Manny gets paid on Friday and we don't. Okay, maybe don't do it and go clean.
Maybe. Oh, by the way, real quick, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but Danielle for the 34 to complete out the goal today. Just got here. Not sure if we're counting up or down. I'm counting down again. I know I started counting up a little bit. I don't like that way. I'm counting back down. If we're going it, so it's either 0 or 68. It is now 0. Danielle, thank you so much for your support.
Yay,
I apologize
Danielle!
for switching my method. I meant to go back.
I was gonna ask you because I'm like, wait,
I
did
didn't
someone
like
already
it.
pay out your goal?
No.
I was like, who did that?
Yeah, it was supposed to be. I didn't like it. I switched back. I
That's
apologize
fine.
for confusing y'all.
But so parents come in tomorrow. I won't see my mom until Friday afternoon. And then Saturday mid-afternoon, evening. So Friday night, Manny and I should still be doing his immigration live. So by the way, that is going to be a new reoccurring thing Friday nights at
I'm
8
so
p.m.
happy.
Central.
I know Manny's
Manny-
not happy about it, but I am happy about it.
we were talking about this and I'm like, I really want you to do more debate lives because this morning he was running late to work and he's like, babe, I can't do that again. I'm like, okay, we'll have, I want to make sure he can still get his immigration fixed because I think every single person on this app needs to know that my boyfriend, this is not biased, anyone who has read his Substacks or has heard him speak on immigration knows this. He is very intelligent and he works his ass off on every single thing he does when it comes to immigration
Yes.
and his Substack. So I want to start doing that again. And then we got to figure out our fucking stickers and shit.
Yeah, we need to do that.
We got to figure out.
Yeah. I was trying to look at, I might try and draw it myself too, but I did have my daughter drew my person. Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to do it because it's too bright. Oh, kind of.
Can you send it in Discord?
Yeah, I'll send it in Discord. My
That's so
daughter drew me. It was super cute. Let me throw it in art.
Art.
No,
Andrew said, I'm a Tulsi Gabbard supporter. Ew. Sorry.
Then I can bring it up on the screen.
So.
Not that screen.
DS. Is it in what part of your bio is it a part of? Is it in your your Discord link? the link tree in the description of your name, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're saying they're having a hard time trying to get in.
Try and paste it into browser. If not, I might have to redo it. Which
Because
I can do.
It's in her description of her profile when you click her name.
That's what my
No, you're not having a skill issue. You're
No,
fine.
you're not.
That is so cute. Are you holding a pretzel?
Yeah, I'm telling you, no pretzel.
How much do I have to pay for your daughter to draw a photo of me?
Right? I know. We need to commission her. Like, for real.
Like I
Draw
think she
smalls.
should do our stickers.
Aren't they cute?
That's so fucking cute.
We really, that'll be the next, like, that'll be towards her birthday and Christmas, but so way later in the
Yes.
year, guys. But I definitely want to fund to get her a digital drawing tablet. She's been talking about one. I think she really needs one. Super, super cute. And she did this because I usually have my hair in this horrible pineapple bun, usually all day. The rest of the day, and my hair is just up because I need to be able to do things. So yeah, but she
I've seen your hair up before.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that side of you.
I do my pineapple bun like every other time of the day.
I love pineapple buns.
I have TikTok videos with me with the pineapple bun. I don't give a
Well,
fuck.
I was just trying to say I was special. God damn it. Okay.
Well, you are special. That's true
I
too.
am special. But yeah, so they come in. Forget we were talking about parents. Parents come in Thursday. So tomorrow. Wait, today's Wednesday.
Yes.
I just realized today's Wednesday. Why did I think yesterday was Monday?
I don't know.
I thought yesterday was Anyways,
not.
parents come in tomorrow. Oh, I have therapy tomorrow too.
Well, then I'll just raid RJ, babe.
Okay.
We'll go raid the stupid man. Do an LRJ Monty raid.
Yes, everyone yell LRJ when they go.
He
and
muted
raid
me the
RJ.
other day for 5 seconds in his live, and I was just being helpful. He hates me.
Reminds me of the. Oh, are you talking about Despicable Me, John? Not Disposable.
Oh, you disposable.
I feel like that would be a great movie to
That
see.
would be a great movie. I'm disposable, and it's like a story about loving yourself. Despicable Me. Yeah. No, my
I love
daughter.
that.
My daughter is amazing at art. I love her art. So she has an entire art section. It gets out of control because artists are not Type A personalities like their mothers, and so like, whoo.
I don't think there were any Type A.
Which profile do I screenshot? If you are on, if you don't have a TikTok, you can just do your tubes. DS King of Kings, just do your tubes, but and I'll know it's you, and then I could just get you in there. If that's not.
That is so.
Oh, look, I
cute.
see your
AKAs.
ticket. I see your ticket already. Look, don't
Look
even.
at that.
Yeah.
Yay!
I see. Let me see. I'll just do it here. Don't even do any of that. Look, I'll just add you right now. Verified. Done. You should have access to the server.
Yay!
Oh my god.
Now everyone gets to enjoy the silliness of DXD. Or that's not his. What's your name?
DS King of Kings.
Yes, that one. I'm okay.
You are. You're good. You're good.
I'm tired.
I am. I'm getting off. I was kind of waiting. You guys are doing it on those likes. I was
thought
trying to see
Monty
if we
was
could hit
getting off
100.
What? I left 20 minutes ago. Look. Sorry, Pablo. It's okay. The DS is silent. Shut up.
Oh, sorry, Justin. Justin's like, I wanted to do the ticket. I'm sorry. Now we're fighting for tickets in the verification on my Discord.
Hey, you know what? It's a it's a poetry. Oh, okay. Well,
Vanellope von Schwees.
Von Schwees.
It's Vanellope. Well, people say, listen, the amount of people who say I look like Sarah Silverman, I guess I would also look like Vanellope von Schweet then.
Isn't she the voice?
Mm-hmm. I just don't have her voice. Like, I don't think I look like her. I don't know. I don't think I look like her. Maybe in her facial expressions. I have very animated facial expressions.
Vanilla, or not vanilla.
Ain't nothing vanilla about this.
Ain't nothing vanilla. No, Vanellope von Schweetz.
Mm-hmm.
She has a very raspy voice.
She does.
As she's supposed to be depicted as a child.
It's Game of Slaughter Race. Like that? Does it sound like that a little bit?
Chicky says you should cosplay her.
That would be fun.
You could put like cute little candy things in your hair.
That would be so fun.
Who would I be from that movie, guys? If you say Ralph, I'm gonna block all of you.
What kind of assholes? I'm gonna do a cosplay fun. We need a cosplay fun for.
No, Chicky. I'm gonna be, if I was Olive, why?
Turn south.
I sure do. What other like characters? I can't be fucking Jill Lynch. I think it's her name. Jill Lynch.
That.
Hang on. I gotta look at
it up now.
This is what happens.
I don't know who that is. No, you need like a
Jane
costume.
Lynch.
Jane Lynch.
The Sergeant Calhoun.
Oh yeah. You could be.
No, I don't want to be.
Oh.
I could be Fix It Felix.
You could be Fix It Felix. Cubert.
That's crazy, Hot Thomas. I would kind of look like Trump. I'm good.
Aw. AJ says, you've been flagged. Bye-bye, but the bye-bye was spelled B-Y-B-Y. There's no E. I'm still here. What was that?
I don't think...
Stella?
Hello, I heard that.
Did you hear the thunk?
I heard it go...
No,
What
the
happened?
meow. I think she jumped off of the top. There's like a banister right outside my brother's door. I think she jumped off of it, but it just sounded like dunk. Like, jeez, I mean, I know I love you, little chunk butt, but damn.
I could be the strawberry
Sour Bill
girl.
is crazy.
That's wild.
Why are you guys like this? You could be one of the other candy kids.
I could. What's her name? Taffia?
Taffy. Or
Taffy. Taffia?
It's Taffy
Taffia?
something.
Yeah, T-A-F-T. Wait, hang on.
Taffeta. It's Taffeta.
Taffeta. That's her name. Wait, isn't she a bitch in the movie? I don't want to be a bitch.
She is until the end. Well, until the end, and then like the second one specifically, they have parents.
Can
so
I be
maybe-
Bowser in the AA meeting?
No.
Why not?
The donut with the nightstick is A-cab. A-cab.
That was my nickname in high school.
A-cad. Whatever. the fuck.
A-cad is
No,
crazy.
what do you, ADAB? ADAB. All donuts.
ADAB. All donuts are...
Oh my god, it does look like Vanellope Von Street. That's just it. That's so cute. I love it. I love it so much. You guys are almost there. I'm really just waiting now to 100,000 likes, and then we'll go rate the man.
Yeah, we're shooting it. Maybe I should do Cubert. Maybe I'll take up
Look up
not
Deanna.
King Candy Odd Thomas. I have
That's
too much hair to do that.
Easy. Deanna from Wreck-It Ralph.
Deanna?
Oh, she's that lady.
I'm scared.
Don't be.
How do I spell?
She's one of the like people in Wreck-It Ralph. She's like in charge of like.
I looked up Deanna and it gave me a feminine given name of Latin origin. I don't think.
No, she's like.
Oh,
That lady.
oh.
My stomach is going. I can't believe you guys can't hear that on the screen. My stomach is just like.
I don't know. I'm still thinking maybe Cubert.
Cubert. I like Cubert.
What's the noise he makes? Doesn't he make a noise?
He
Cubert?
does. Yeah, I'm not. I just knew that if I try to imitate it, it's gonna sound stupid.
Time to help people.
Shh. Limu Emu. Shh. No Limu Emu ads. These are supposed to be Cubert sounds. I don't.
Beep, beep, beep.
W you guys for hitting 100,000 likes. Thank you.
They're like, let's turn this shit off now.
They're like, I can't deal with them anymore. They need to go away. W, you guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Let me do all of my thank yous. Thank you to Amber. Thank you to Chicky. Thank you to Danielle. Thank you to, I know I had Rhett. Thank you, Lenati. And thank you, Marina. Thank you guys so much for your support today, for knocking out that goal today. And we got to the like goal. I only had to stay on almost another hour, but I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to fucking eat now because I'm starving. So we are going to go to RJ's and we are going to do a LRJ Monty raid. That's what I want you to write. LRJ Monty raid in there. That is what we are going to go do. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, Olive. On Thursday.
It's not Friday.
It's not Friday. 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. As
Right
we
after
know,
me, guys.
Right after Olive. We know Olive goes live. What time do you go live?
8 a.m. in the morning.
Central.
Yes, Central. So I go 8 Central, and I go from 8 until about 11 Central, which is 10 your time. Then we go from here to Monica and stuff like that. And pending what the plan is tomorrow, everything's kind of up in the air still about when my parents are here and stuff like that. So I think Friday might be the only day I may not be here.
That's
I'm
fair.
not 100%
I
certain.
have to figure out midterm Monday because I have a dental cleaning on that Monday. So I also have to figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, so let's go LRJ Monty Raid, and I will see you guys.
LRJ, a man.
LRJ, a man, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.